6 o'clock, good morning. Live from the Circus Sports at the Mint Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Justin Hawkins. The Titans are back on the practice field today as training camp continues at the Vanderbilt Health Football Center. Practice at 10:15. Then head coach Robert Saleh, as well as select players, speak to the media immediately following practice. NFL news yesterday, the Washington Commanders are signing four-time Pro Bowl and former Patriots wide receiver Stephon Diggs to a one-year, $12 million deal. Diggs is coming off a 1,000-yard season last year in New England. Also, the return of All-Pro defensive tackle Aaron Donald to the NFL became more likely yesterday as he worked out for the Los Angeles Rams. Donald put on pads and went through various workouts to see how his body feels and would respond. Tonight, the NFL returns with the Hall of Fame game in Canton, Ohio, as the Cardinals take on the Panthers to open the NFL preseason. Kickoff at 7 p.m. on NBC, or you can hear Westwood One's call right here on the Zone starting at 7. And Nashville Soccer Club took a rough start in the Leagues Cup last night as they took a 1-0 loss against Liga MX's Club Leon at Geodis Park. The Boys in Gold will continue their League Cup Phase 1 schedule this Sunday as they take on Atletico de San Luis at Geodis Park at 7 p.m. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Bringing news at once on your home for the Titans and the Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
One week away from the first preseason game of the Robert Saleh era, things are about to get real at Training Camp 2026. Good morning and welcome in from the Vanderbilt Health Football Center. We are live, kicking off your Thursday morning, your Friday Junior, whatever you want to call it. We are glad you decided to put 104.5 The Zone on your radios, your smart devices, or your 104.5 The Zone app this morning. Crew is all here. Justin Hawkins back at our 104.5 The Zone studios. Kirby Allen Kirby putting us on the air. Ramon Foster, myself, Will Bowling. 615-737-1045 is the number. Little skirmish on Tuesday. Little off day on Wednesday. Yes. And today, Ramon, we are back. Good morning.
Good morning, man. Let's see what the reset's going to look like today. I just tweeted out from our show, well, not from our show account, quote tweeted our show account and said, you know what? Day 3 in pads. Let's see what today holds for us, man. That's usually the biggest things. Those days off, how do you reset? Like today is a day, in my opinion, where you finally feel like, okay, it's camp. We got to go do this thing again with a lot of physicality, and I got to prove that I love this sport again.
Were days after off days typically good practices or sloppy practices?
Oh, depends on the tone that the coach has set for what our goals are for the day. Because if it's just business as usual, players naturally just, try to figure out, okay, let me work myself into this thing again. They can be a little sloppy, and that's when coaches get ticked off and say, hey, no, we can't allow this type of production while we're in training camp trying to chase championships. Man, it varies. Like, there's always a day, usually after the day after, where you feel like, okay, yeah, or the day off where you feel like, man, I got to get back into it. That soreness kind of sets in. Mm-hmm. You know how it is with soreness and, working out. It's not the next day. It's the day after. It's 2 days after the workout. So it could be one of those iffy type of days. But I know order will be in place, though, as far as fights and stuff, or skirmishes and tussles and stuff. I feel like that will be the case. You're looking for production on a day like today, though. So I feel like the messaging will be as awesome as you can today, because in front of our fans tomorrow, you want to be physical, but I don't think you want to look like pure gladiators on the NFL league-wide broadcast of, hey, welcome back to football weekend,
Sure. I think my guess, honestly, Ramon, is that considering you are coming off a bye week or a bye day, an off day, and you are getting ready and acclimated once again for a bigger scrimmage tomorrow night, this might not be one of the chaotic practices. This may not be a big, complicated day. This could be wading back into the shallow end. That way tomorrow you're ready to jump back in the deep end in front of fans again.
I can see that being the case, man. Working in front of fans is always more of, I felt like, a show when you go inside of the stadium, as opposed to like this is a work to get better type of day. It'll be fascinating to see how it is. But here's the thing. Like, football is played in pads, and the physicality is a part of it daily. It's just, in my personal opinion, a matter of how much do you choose to show. I think in front of the fans, you'll be a little bit more simple. I'm not sure if the NFL Network, ESPN, is doing their tour as well, but there will be a lot of eyes. And I do feel like coaches want to put on the show when it comes down to fanfare of it all, with getting your own script and work done as well. So I'm excited about it, being inside of the stadium. I'm missing my high school scrimmage tomorrow night. Not that that's more important. Both are equally important about
Going to a Titans jamboree.
Going to a Titans jamboree.
It's jamboree season.
Yeah, yes.
One of the best seasons of the football season.
It is. I didn't realize.
Everybody's 0-0.
Speaking of jamborees, how many high school teams have like multiple scrimmages as well as you mentioned, like jamborees?
Everybody does. Yeah.
I'm from the Stone Age with this type of
No,
stuff.
I wouldn't say that.
I'm not, but
You at least had flip phones.
we did have. I had a camera phone as well.
Of course you did.
I didn't personally, but my friend did, and I used it from time to time.
Of
But
course.
we didn't have this many scrimmages. We had one at the end of our training camp with the high school we did camp with or whatever. But like now, I'm watching these Middle Tennessee teams go from different cities and host games. Basically, is what they are.
I feel like that's pretty common to have 3 scrimmages, maybe.
Yeah. I saw a school, I think we've all kind of seen it, that got reprimanded by TSSAA. Next year's preseason camp, they can only have 1 scrimmage, down from
Really?
4.
Who was that?
Beach.
Oh, wow.
Beach had a real big fight
Interesting.
with Rockville, and both schools got reprimanded. Players got suspended and everything. And I was reading the article on it because I'm not with the varsity, I'm with the freshman team, and they got knocked from 4 preseason scrimmages next year down to 1.
Wow. I didn't even know you could do 4.
That's what I'm telling you.
Sure.
Like, I didn't realize like you can set that up, and TSSAA, I guess, kind of okays it, which is why they're reprimanding them from doing it next year because of the melee. Now, they did have a melee according to what I read. I left before it actually went down or whatever, so very fascinating approach to high school ball. But, again, NFL started doing more of this welcome back to football towards, like, 2017, 18, 19. Those were my last 3 years in the league, and the broadcast was really, really big when it boiled down to exposure across the league, the tours, the Madden bus. I was playing when Madden came on campus and everything as well, too. And the league has gotten bigger. I enjoyed it. I had a random thought to you on Tuesday about that. I was just like, man, the way the Titans are setting up this family-orient, like, just environment, I was just like, I don't know if we did it as big as they do it now. I see, like, different camps when I'm, scrolling and stuff. There's a lot of welcome back and family day stuff that the league is really promoting right now. You see more kids around, more family, more guys showing their personalities and just taking the pads off. And I think that's really, really cool, man, because we're looking at brutes sometimes,
So, for example, families are out here right after practice before players sometimes even go back in, take their pads off, take their helmet off, and go into whatever meetings they have after practice. Do you think that is specific to this organization, prioritizing that, or is that something we are seeing more at all 32 teams at this point?
I do think it's more specific here to the Titans. If you look at Coach Saleh, big family, right? Like, he's big family. So, and coaches do a lot. Now, I asked my wife, I was like, did we do this much family, freedom in training camp? She was like, no, because I was explaining the same thing to her. I was just like, we didn't have guys on the field for this long of a time. And Coach Tom was an old school guy as well, but the incorporation of your kids being able to see dad do his stuff, like, I got pictures, still pictures that show up on my phone now, memories from 12 years ago, and I'm hugging the boys like, I see them, hey, how's everything?
See ya.
And go to meetings, rehab, treatment, and dinner.
What are those meetings like? Are you immediately reviewing the tape on that practice when you get back after practice? Is it lunch? Is it team meetings, position groups? What was it like for you?
It's immediate, like, film. So I'd go in there. I started to go in there and watch the tape earlier. So I go to dinner, go to the O-line room from dinner, and me and my teammate Marquise Pouncey, we sit there and just remove the anxiety, to be quite honest with you.
It's like, let's get this over with now. That way we know what's coming when everybody else gets in here.
There's nothing worse. Do you ever know something's coming down on you?
Yes.
And you feel yourself clenching and gritting your teeth and stuff? So I adopted that with him. I go and watch it, and we talk through stuff like, I got to be better here. We need to do this. But the way it's kind of set up is you go to dinner, post-practice, whenever your practice times are, because they vary from camp to camp. You go in, there's usually the big team meeting. Then you break from the big team meeting, and the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator have their plays and their scripts. We got to do this better, need to do this. And that usually only lasts about, 5 to 7 minutes, because their job is to get you to your position coach. And at that point, you're going to spend, when you break from the big meeting, about, hour 45, 2 hours watching tape. And it is everything that the coach wants to do. And usually coaches, if you got like an on-site camp, or even here with the Titans, I'd probably think they probably get done about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock night.
How do you not fall asleep?
It's a job, bro.
I know, but still, that is how much caffeine
that's what I was going to say.
is
so that's
in you at that point.
That's why I asked Keldrick about the snacks in the room.
Yeah, for sure.
That's where bad habits come in.
I mean, we have guys getting here before we are to do this show, and we were talking to it wasn't even a conversation. It was listening to the podium, listening to guys talk about. I mean, it's not just Cam getting in here at 5:30 in the morning.
No.
And then the day ends at 8 or 9 o'clock. That is more than a normal work day.
It is. That's why guys take it so personal. That's why when you criticize guys, like when they say you don't know what I've been through, like, and I know they're supposed to get criticized.
That's why skirmishes happen in practice.
Probably because they're a little agitated.
Because guys are there like literally 18 hours per day.
No lie to you, and I say this with how unaware I was coming from Ripley, Tennessee, Henning, Tennessee, Lauderdale County. Was this a shout out? I didn't realize like dipping. Like chewing tobacco was a way that guys learned how to stay up. Like it was never my thing. First time I ever saw a black guy dip was like in college. I never saw it. You know what I'm saying? It's just regionally, it just wasn't a thing. But guys started adapting that stuff to stay up in meetings because that caffeine. And then when they started doing zips and stuff like that, or whatever the little pouches they were doing, you do that, Will. It's coffee. It's jokes. Hey, Rook, get up. Tell us a story. Like, it's that. Like,
tell us a story.
It's all of that goes on in camp. But the entire time, and I think the O-line probably has the worst point of it all, because you got 3 different units of 15 players, if not more, and you got to go through each player, left tackle, left guard, all the way across, and you got to dissect each one of their plays.
Yeah, you're the only position, maybe other than defensive back, that has 5 different people to watch on any given play.
Yes, and that's
takes a while.
It takes a while, but you go through, you'll go through, of course, the first period, which is, run period. Then you go through red zone. Then you go through the third down. And then coach will even get eccentric on you. Let's look at some of this individual so we work on your technique.
It is a grind this time of year.
It is, man. So, and we can look over at the weight room right now. There are guys in there currently. Mm-hmm. And they hadn't started a meeting, so guys get here about 5:30, 5:15, get a workout in or some cardio, go grab breakfast, go watch some tape, and then you'll probably find yourself kind of settling in, just getting a little bit of rest before the team meeting kind of settles up a little bit. But it is, and then on top of that, we see them come out here pre-practice. There's a walkthrough. Mm-hmm. There's a pre-walkthrough. There's special teams walkthrough. But I will say this. And all of that, and yes, it's a headache. Yes, it's stressful. I'll do it again. I wouldn't think twice about it. I would do it again. Like I said, I joke and say, man, I'd have taken a draft pick and a bigger signing bonus, but I'll do it my way again. I loved it, and I think that's why you and I do this, because we love football too. And
absolutely.
We're not, and I joke about with this. I'm very appreciative. Like, we're not digging ditches. There's a payoff in the end. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think there's anything better than being in a sport or business that you absolutely love.
I used that exact line last night to talk to my family about our schedule next week and how many moving parts there are to going to Santa Clara, coming back, being back after a late primetime game. And I literally used the exact phrase, but we're not digging ditches. I can't wait. Football is so back.
Will,
I'm so excited for next week. It's going to be so much fun.
listen to me. I would Aaron Donald this thing.
Well, I'm glad you said that because we're going to talk about that coming up next. A big NFL headline for the big favorite to win the Super Bowl in the 2026 NFL season. NFL fans of the 31 other teams, beware. We'll tell you the details coming up next. Ramon Foster, Will Bowling, live from the Vanderbilt Health Football Center. Ramon and Will, 104.5 The Zone. Earlier this week, the rich got richer in Los Angeles in baseball, and we may be a couple days away from the same exact thing happening in football in the same city. Ramona Will from the Vanderbilt Health Football Center on this Friday, Junior, from Titans training camp. Ramon Foster and Will Bowling. Aaron Donald is getting closer to a comeback. As noted on the league's daily transaction wire, Aaron Donald had a formal tryout with the Rams on Wednesday. I think, Ramon, the better way to phrase this is the Rams had a tryout with Aaron Donald.
Yeah, they did.
Not the other way around. For him to decide whether or not he's ready to play football again. There's not much for him to try that they don't already know that he can do.
Exactly.
How realistic is his ability to not only play, but make an impact for the Super Bowl favorite Los Angeles Rams?
I have to ask you something real quick. When he walks back in the building now, because it's such a luxury, do you call him Mr. Donald now?
If I'm a rookie, I probably would have to.
I would have to at this point. I was listening to Pros and a Cup of Joe this morning on the way in, just mindlessly driving, and they spoke about Aaron Donald. Did you hear why we found out about this tryout, though, this workout?
No, why's that?
Because you're speaking about how real it is. Apparently, he wanted to put on a helmet. And if you put on NFL equipment, you have to submit that, hey, he's working out for us, Will. I'm telling you this. If I walk in the building after having paparazzi take pictures of me anyway working out, and then I walk into your building for a workout, I'm not walking in for no particular reason. I'm walking in to sign. I just need y'all to see me and justify whatever monies that I'm asking for is worth it at that point in time as well. And just to show you, like, yeah, it's as real as it get. I'm serious about it. I'm still in shape. We've seen the off-season videos that he's had with how he works out and stuff like that at home. But to put on a helmet, bro, I don't even want to put on a helmet at the house right now for auction. Do you hear me? Like he and the other part, I guess, for Aaron Donald is the luxury route that he'll get to kind of play this year. He's got, of course, 2 or 3 time defensive player of the year. And Myles Garrett there. They got a young cluster of talent that's beyond anything that they thought of. Like, he helped raise those pups. Now Braden Fisk and those guys can be a part of it. I got Byron Young. Like, they have weapons where it's not just all Aaron Donald. And it was probably just a formality of, like, you have to come in and do these things, and we want to see you work out. They put him through real football stuff, whatever that is for Aaron Donald. Well, it's as real as I think the first conversation we had about this.
So how big of an impact does Aaron Donald's potential return have on the race in the NFC to represent that side of the league in the Super Bowl?
It's huge because you look at what the defending champs had, and they lost some weapons this year as well. You think about teams like the Eagles on the NFC side of it too. It's just like, well, Aaron Donald's still that guy. Like, I know you got Jalen Carter, but that's the guy that made the mold for what you think he is. Everybody that's in this conversation about being a contender or playing the interior defensive line, the first name that comes up in our era as far as the OG that's doing is Aaron Donald.
And it should be too.
Yeah. So, like, how serious it gets. Well, even if he's not at the best version of himself, you can never take a play off. And the threat of offensive game plans, you have to mention Aaron Donald. Oh, and you still got Braden Fisk. Oh, there's also Myles Garrett. Like, it's the name game. And I do think that still holds stock. I think that's the reason you find a team like Pittsburgh still holding on to a guy like Aaron Rodgers. The name game still applies to this, right? Like, you know the threat that if that guy finds health, stays healthy, and has some just remnants of what they were as a player, and Aaron Donald's had 2 years off or a year off and some change.
Yeah, he last played in 2023. Year 10 for him was 2023 at 32 years old, and he had 8 sacks that season.
It's to me, it's more about it's just a threat more than anything. Like, you know, he still has something in the tape.
I mean, just the fact that you have to watch out for him and you have to scheme for him might make it harder to block the secondary options. Because I don't know if Aaron Donald, right, Ramon, takes away any attention from Myles Garrett. No. I think you're still going to treat him the same way. And if anything, that might be the biggest appeal for Aaron Donald is, wait, you're telling me I'm not the thing that's being circled the most in the film room for opposing teams every time we play on Sundays? Oh, I could get down with that.
Yeah, and I think it's smart on him as well, man, to be in a position to say, like, it comes down to a pitch count. How many snaps you want, 15 to 20 a game? And
I would say probably more than that, right? I'd say more like 20 to 30.
I need him in the playoffs, though.
Of course, that's
I
fair.
just don't know,
that's fair.
with age and 2 years off, that's the only thing. Like, do you want him on rundowns? You want him in, like, second and long, third and long? Those are that's the only reason I bring up, and maybe I'm too low.
Passing downs probably more likely, yeah.
Get the ball out the quarterback's hand.
But I think this really does benefit guys like Braden Fisk and Byron Young more than anybody, who are guaranteed to get one-on-ones.
Absolutely.
And those are good football players.
They are, and Braden Fisk has a real good pass rusher to his game as well. He's quick twitch, at least, and like my thing about signing a guy like Aaron Donald or having the Jeffrey Simmons on your team, the middle of the pocket matters, right? Well, like getting them off their spot.
No question.
We saw on, Cam's pick, where Jeff was just able to just get pressure and just throw off the arm finish.
Cam's pick on Tuesday?
I think it was like on Tuesday, yeah. Okay. It was just the arm finish, Will. No, it's last week that they had. It was last week. It's the finish of the throw. If you can push the pocket and put guards and centers into the lap of the quarterback, that's just as good as a sack because you mess the flow of the play up. And
Definitely.
that's what Aaron Donald, I think, can provide, or at least getting to an edge. The Hall of Fame career, is he's solidified. All he did is reset his clock when it comes down to him getting his gold jacket. I don't think he diminishes his play, even if he gets injured. That's the one thing I'm nervous about for a guy that's been sitting on the sideline for about 2 years, is those muscle fibers getting acclimated again to that level of push, grind, and just explosiveness. Like, he can work out all he wants to, but I know, my workouts in the gym right now way different than what they were when I was playing ball.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody retired is working out like a current football player because he was in retired mode.
They've just built such a good foundation to sprinkle superstars in L.A. on both sides of the ball. I think it's the thing that Les Snead doesn't get enough credit for because he is known for the bleep them picks, trade everything all the time. He's kind of known for the Matthew Stafford trade, but the foundation of that football team is guys like Byron Young, who had 12 sacks last season as a third-round pick out of Tennessee. Their two starting inside linebackers are both undrafted players, Omar Spates and Nate Landman, who aren't, incredible inside linebackers, but they're certainly, I would say, average to above average. And, again, you're talking about undrafted players who come into this thing. And obviously on offense, the big name at wide receiver is Puka Nacua, who had 1,700 yards last season. That's a fifth-round pick.
Oh, man.
He's 25 years old. Fifth-round pick, 129 catches, leads the NFL, 1,715 yards, 10 touchdowns. They get to make moves like Myles Garrett and Aaron Donald again, and in free agency going to get Jalen Watson and making the trade for Trent McDuffie. Like, they get to do all of that because they consistently find value on days 2 and 3 of the NFL draft. If you ever wanted an example for why we talk about the NFL draft so much every April, look at the Los Angeles Rams roster and just run through it.
Absolutely.
Just take a look at how they built it. Because, you can afford to give away first and second round picks every year to go trade for someone when you can consistently find plus starters in the 5th round and in the 6th round. And even in the 3rd round, where you're getting first-round talent production in Byron Young with pick 77 a couple of years ago in the 2023 NFL draft, that gives you 12 sacks last year.
And here's another guy that's on this list, too. They've gotten a whole lot of production out of as well. That's Juan Johnson as a 7th-round pick from them as well out of Toledo. I remember him because he's a big-time attitude guy, man, that plays well for them. In the 7th round, and he's in his 4th year accumulating good playing time with them as well. And not just him, like Kobe Turner, another one of those guys on that defense. And that's why I'm glad we speak more about the team, the Titans, and not just the first rounders. Like, these core guys is what you call them in the NFL. This is what allows you, to your point, make those types of moves.
Well, you said it yesterday, it's the middle class of your team. It's guys who are aged 25 to 29 who are either on the back end of their first contract because they were older rookies, or they are at the beginning of a second contract that was either found in free agency, or you just played well enough to earn a second deal as a draft pick for your organization.
Yeah, and that's why I feel like kind of set expectations a little bit better, since about 2-3 years ago about what building up a team has to look like, what it has to feel like. Like, somebody looked at me sideways and they were kind of upset. I told them, I was like, no, with the Titans, like, you probably need about 2 more years to get it to where you can start doing this type of stuff.
You've got to hit on draft picks like they have.
That's why Bryce Oliver means so much. That's why watching Alec Ayumanor.
That's why James Williams having a couple picks so far in training camp is a big deal. And again, like, we temper our expectations until those guys show up and start to flash. But when they do, it's why we talk so much about it, and it's why – Alec Ayumanor, to your point, his emergence could be significant for this team.
Or I like the way you have been on the train for a guy like Jackson Slater. Low value, high outcome type of guy. Those guys matter. Like, Cam's going to be the guy. Jeff's going to be the guy. Cardinell's going to be the guy. Heck, right? Like, that's what you're looking for. Sprinkling in those free agents. I do think, just looking at the Titans situation, they've tried to become more strategic about who you bring in, because eventually the JFM, John Franklin Myers, you want to find a guy like him. Is it Jackie Marshall down the line, like, that grows up into a role like that? But you try to set the template for what you want your team to be, especially if you have success in doing it. And that's the one thing that the Rams have had. They've had success in finding it. Now, going to spend what they did on the franchise quarterback in Matthew Stafford, that's an anomaly, though.
Sure. But to that point, in this league, the big money additions, the big trades, the big quarterback contracts, the Myles Garrett acquisitions of the world, which don't happen every year, but when they do happen, they happen involving teams that have the luxury to take those risks. It's just that simple, and it's the lifeblood of this league that does not get talked about enough. Just hit on your later draft picks, and now all of a sudden taking a risk to go get Myles Garrett isn't that big of a risk because you trust yourself to find first, second, and third round talent in the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th rounds.
Yes, man.
So that is the kind of slept-on factor with the LA Rams that I think I'm glad we can talk about in more detail. Aaron Donald coming back is great, but he's coming back into a team that doesn't need him, and now will be better with him.
That's what I want to ask you. What do you think the expectation is for him, just to be the threat?
I would say being –
because we got to be real about it.
Statistically, 6 to 8 sacks.
6 to 8 sacks.
I think would be my expectation for Aaron Donald, probably from week 1 through the Super Bowl. Like, if you gave me 6 to 8 sacks and then just attracted the attention of offensive lines to allow my other players, if I'm the Rams, to go get after the quarterback, it's absolutely worth it to me.
I'm trying to look up a guy that correlates to another one just to see what the yards look like. Okay, and I wanted to look at Devontae Adams versus Puka Nacua.
Devontae Adams last season was hurt at times. He had 60 catches for 789 and 14 touchdowns. His 14 touchdowns led the NFL last season. Puka Nacua, 129 catches, 1,715 yards, and 10 touchdowns, which was tied for 6th most in the NFL.
Be Devontae Adams to Puka Nacua. That's the way I look at it. Like, you are very important as Devontae Adams, and when plays come your way, make them. But when it comes down to who's the main guy, Myles Garrett is still him. And I'd even throw Braden Fisk in there. I'm not calling Aaron Donald the third guy on that roster because I think he's number 1 in a lot.
Well, be a role player, right? Like Devontae Adams is the red zone guy.
Yes, he is.
For L.A.
When it's time to go get it.
Aaron Donald, come in on 3rd down and 6. Go get after the quarterback.
Come on out.
If they pick it up, all right, come back out. We'll throw Braden Fisk back in there.
Kobe Turner, let's go. Like, get AD in, man. So, but, like, that's a luxury. That's why the Rams, they've kind of, I don't want to say perfected the reset, but kind of really showed you what a rebuild kind of is.
When you draft as well as they do, you don't have to reset.
Yeah. And, like, they're at a point right now that they were able to trade away Jared Verse for Aaron Donald. I mean, for Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
Like, and Jared Verse isn't a bad player.
No.
But in that time when Aaron Donald's kind of walked away into the sunset, you've allowed this young defensive line to kind of grow up and now you're still competitive. You make a big monster move by getting Myles Garrett, and then poof, Aaron Donald's still waiting in the helm.
Yeah, they're a model NFL franchise. It's in the way that they have used the NFL draft to build a juggernaut.
I continually say, like, to get to a Super Bowl, one, getting there is always the goal, but, like, you want to always be knocking at the door. And
when you draft that well, you can. Right.
Yes.
And with every team, look at the Kansas City Chiefs and the dip in their drafts. I mean, honestly, since Mike Borgonzi left, honestly.
Yeah.
But that is why they weren't able to pick up the pieces. Patrick Mahomes getting hurt obviously played a major role in that last season, but it's part of the reason why that team was what it was last year is they started missing on more draft picks. And when you inevitably have to make hard decisions on veterans you can't afford to keep, as you are successful enough to have to pay so many of your own players, you have to backfill with 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, meaning undrafted round picks, and go cheap at spots. But you have to go cheap at the right spots and then make the right picks to replace those players. And that was the Tennessee Titans' problem under Mike Vrabel and John Robinson. Yeah. They built the foundation, but they didn't sustain that foundation because they whiffed on 3 straight first-round picks and second-round picks and third-round. Like, it wasn't just the Isaiah Wilson part of this. It was the fact that Dylan Radins never was the offensive lineman that you wanted him to be.
He's supposed to be a core
while
player.
He was here. It was the fact that guys like Darrington Evans, who you drafted to be Tajay Spears before there was Tajay Spears, never panned out and played more video games than he did football in the time that he's been an NFL football player. Respectfully, hey, if you want to play video games,
cool.
you do you on
just
your NFL contract. Yeah, right. Just be good at something. Do what makes you happy. But that is ultimately, I think, what gets underrated in this league. The big moves happen because you laid the groundwork. And that is what is actively happening on the 3 football fields in front of us right now as the Titans try to lay the groundwork with the draft picks that they made. And that new big stadium that opens up next season can all of a sudden be filled with more moves where you can be a bit more strategic and pick your spots to go all in on players that you covet because you can afford to. Because you've got young, cheap contracts that you drafted at most spots on your roster.
I was looking at NFL.com this morning, and I told you, like, the Kansas City Chiefs, and I'm an undrafted fan, but they've been searching for tackles for the last 2 years since Mike Borgonzi's been gone. Their potential starting right tackle is now an undrafted rookie out of Indiana, Khalil Benson. Like, is that ideal? No. The amount of money that they've spent at right tackle and drafting tackles as well, like, I'm all for undrafteds, but we're talking about them trying to your point, will get to a second rebuild with Patrick and aging Travis Kelce. Like,
they're trying to reload.
I love the undrafted story.
Yeah.
But they swung and a miss.
Let's know how that works out for you.
There are going to be a lot of salivating DNs.
It too. I mean, it goes back to what we've talked about all offseason. Unfortunately, misery does love company. The offensive line challenges that the Tennessee Titans have today are not unique to just the Tennessee Titans. How much of the league, Ramon, right now feels good about their offensive line? A third?
I was going to say about 35%.
I'd say a third of the NFL, which is, 33, 35%. We're saying the same thing. About a third of NFL fan bases probably feel comfortable with who's protecting their quarterback right now. Titans are not one of those teams.
No, not
but
wholly.
They're also one of many teams that right now don't feel good about that. I would love to at some point on a day where we don't have as much to get to as we do a deeper dive into why that's the case. Like, why has O-line play suffered so much in this league? And maybe we do a Foster 5 of the biggest reasons why offensive line play has deteriorated in the NFL, because it has, would you say, on starting level and backup level and across the board, you think offensive line play is worse today than it was 5 years ago?
Yeah, and I have my reasons. I know those reasons. We could definitely do that on maybe roster recap day at the end of the 53.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Most definitely, because there are going to be questions.
615-737-1045 is our number. Streaming live on 1045 The Zone TV, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. A big wide receiver addition made yesterday in the NFC involving a player who has some Titans connections. We'll talk about that coming up next. Ramona Will live from the Vanderbilt Health Football Center. Wrapping up hour number 1, 6:47, Ramon. That's when Kirby Allen Kirby popped his first Pepsi of the morning.
Love
6:47.
He said 3.
A third Pepsi of the morning. I was going to say, those are rookie numbers. 3 not rookie numbers. Kirby Allen Kirby is a lot of things. A rookie is not one of them.
Man, I'll tell you what, he need a fourth one to get accredited pack then, too. That's how it goes in the NFL. 3 years, 4 games. Wait, no, 3 years, 3 games.
Stephon Diggs, Ramon, is going to stick with the Washington Commanders on a 1-year deal worth up to $12 million. If you were signing in August and your deal says up to $12 million, what do you think his deal actually is?
About 6. About 6.
That
probably.
sounds about right.
Baseline about 6. I mean, with what he did last year, about $6 million.
That sounds about right. According to multiple reports, Stephon Diggs, who maybe was an option for the Titans at one point, considering the Brian Daboll connections in Buffalo, lands there in Washington. He said earlier this offseason that there is no number 2 wide receiver in the league better than him. And now he will take the spot that Brandon Ayuk has been posting a lot about on Instagram, the number 2 wide receiver for the Washington Commanders. I do think that the player we just got done speaking about in the last segment, by the name of Devontae Adams, would have something to say about being the best number 2 wide receiver in the NFL.
I mean, we can throw George Pickens in there.
Yeah, that's another one. Another one.
I ain't want to one-up you right there. I'm just like,
Wan'Dale Robinson?
Wan'Dale in that conversation?
Maybe.
Well, the top slot, most definitely, man. With all his offseason antics, man, with Stephon Diggs, what a storyline. We don't even want to get
You
into
just smile and shake your head. Well, maybe not smile sometimes. You just shake your head and keep it moving with Stephon.
What are the old Penguins that matter? Smile and wave.
Yeah, just smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave.
Smile and wave.
Obviously, you don't smile at some of the allegations he's
you
had,
don't
but
do
just
that.
the overall headache of some of the drama. Let's face it. It's not just Stephon. The off-field, lawsuit stuff, independent, is there one position that makes you smile and wave and shake your head more than wide receiver ones or just wide receivers in general?
It's always them. It's always the wide receivers, especially the ones that are still trying to find their careers as well. But again, I said this yesterday, though. We were speaking about other guys that have issues. We're speaking about James Pierce Jr. If you got talent in this league, they're going to allow you to play. You might have to go through a suspension. But teams, it's hard finding guys with the unique skill set that Stephon Diggs has. He's aggressive. He has a type of ball that he likes to play when it comes to, what he does on the football field. And Jaden Daniel needs weapons. He needs a veteran guy like that.
Terry McLaurin needs a guy to take some attention off him.
He does. I was just looking at their group that they have there. They end up getting a rookie, if I'm not Antonio Williams. Clemson, yes. Out
Slot
of Clemson, yes, slot guy.
They've got 2 former Titans.
They do.
Traylon Burks and Van Jefferson.
No, 3.
Well, and
you said
Chikakonkwo.
you said Traylon Burks. I was just like, hold up, wait.
Traylon Burks, Van Jefferson, Chikakonkwo. I did see another report yesterday of, I think it was either Jaden Daniels or just some Washington reporter saying, Chikakonkwo's had a really big impact. It's almost like he's just a big wide receiver. Been there.
You understand what that
Been
means.
there. I will give Chig credit. He was one of the more dynamic playmakers that this football team had last season. Yeah. And, I was in from the beginning on keeping him around as a big wide receiver.
You are.
Because I thought this team needed playmakers, but that was with the caveat of them probably drafting someone like Jeremiah Love or an edge rusher over Carnell Tate, who then becomes their dynamic playmaker, obviously. So I see the vision now as the dust has settled.
Dog, they might be Titans East Coast.
Yeah, they've got a lot.
McNichols.
McWeapon.
Yeah, they got him over
Training
there
camp legend.
well. Marcus
Boise
Mariota.
State. Yep.
They got a few former Titans on this team, man. Not that they were supposed to be kept here in Tennessee. The closest one would probably be Chikakonkwo, though, right?
Sure.
But they need a guy like Stephon Diggs, though, as well. Looking at the division, that's going to be a pretty tough division right there when you look at Dallas. The Giants, who I think will be a better outfit this year under Harbaugh.
I think definitely. Yeah.
And of course, Philly playing in that division is pretty cool too.
Yeah, it's an interesting division this year. Really interesting. It always is nationally, and I think I saw an awful announcing post that ESPN had debated the Cowboys' Super Bowl chances for 12 straight days or something to that effect. We're not going to do that here, but if you want lowest common denominator sports talk, then ESPN has plenty of that for you on the NFC East. Tonight, the NFL is back, Ramon. Are you interested in the Hall of Fame game? Cardinals-Panthers?
I'm going to take a look because I'm a sicko.
Yeah, I just want to hear a football game. I just want to hear it. I'm not going to watch it very closely. I want to hear NFL broadcasters. I want to hear NFL broadcast music. I want to hear pads popping. I want to hear a touchdown, but I'm not really going to watch it. It will be on. It is the Hall of Fame game is perfect background viewing.
Yeah.
It's not even an appetizer. It's like the little thing that a restaurant gives you for free before the appetizer comes. Like, you go to some nice places. You probably know this better than me. You go to some nice places where they'll like give you before the appetizer, the chef wanted to offer you these crackers and pimento cheese to cleanse your palate. It's a palate cleanser.
Yeah.
It cleanses you from the off season, from all the stuff that's gone on. And then now it's like, oh, yeah, football.
Yeah.
But it's not really going to fill you up. Like, you're still going to be hungry, and you're still going to want your appetizer to come. Like, hey, where are those? Where's that bread I asked for? Oh, it's in the oven. Okay, perfect. Preseason bread? Okay, we're good. So that's essentially what the Hall of Fame game is. Is that too bougie of a reference? Did that land?
I was thinking of bourbon steak with the fries that come out.
Well, there you go. Or like some places, like, you remember my biggest sadness is that this place does not exist anymore on Broadway. Merchants on Broadway.
I never
Long
went to
time downtown Nashville establishment that had a fire around COVID, and I just think it was like the worst possible time to have like a fire. It's still sitting there empty on Broadway, and I think it's like past hands. There was a lawsuit, whatever. I want Merchants to come back. Somebody, if you can bring Merchants back, I will literally book a reservation the second it opens again. But they would give you a little popcorn.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as you sat down, it's like a little tin of popcorn. A lot of places do that. That's the Hall of Fame game, is the little tin of popcorn.
I went to a sushi place in the Gulch one last summer, and they brought out like extra, like, what is this, sashimi sushi?
There you go.
Chef wants you to try this.
Or just the ginger on the side of like something that's an add-on that's free.
Yeah.
That's the Hall of Fame game. Like, I didn't ask for this, but I'll have it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's not going to fill me up for my meal, but like I'll have it. I'll watch it.
You know what it does when you get that type of stuff like the Hall of Fame? I think I'll be back here again.
Yeah, like, wow, that's a nice touch. I really like that. It's a tiebreaker. When two restaurants are equal, it's like, oh, but I could go there and get the fries.
Yeah.
I could go there and get the popcorn. Get in the car. We're good. What opens open table on your phone?
That's exactly. So we'll be back next week for NFL games because of the Hall of Fame. You know, 100%. Man, they really gave us a free snack.
Yeah.
It just had a little bit of extra from the last order. That's all it was.
Yep. 615-737-1045 is our number. Derrick Henry had some comments last night that were very popular amongst Titan circles. If you didn't hear it, we'll play you what he said and talk about what he actually meant, that maybe people are getting lost in translation. Coming up after this.
Good morning, live from the Circus Sports at the Mid-Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Justin Hawkins. Breaking NFL news just moments ago. The Colts and star running back Jonathan Taylor have agreed to terms on a big-time 2-year, $44 million extension per Ian Rappaport and Adam Schefter. The deal has a total value of $60 million with $39 million guaranteed and $19 million per year. It's the largest third contract for a running back ever. For the Titans in the Robert Saleh era, it officially begins a week from today when the Titans face the 49ers to open the preseason. Today, they're back on the practice field as training camp continues at the Vanderbilt Health Football Center. Practice at 10:15 this morning, and then head coach Robert Saleh, as well as select players, speak to the media following practice. NFL news yesterday, the Washington Commanders are signing 4-time Pro Bowl and former Patriots wide receiver Stephon Diggs to a 1-year, $12 million deal. Diggs is coming off a 1,000-yard season last year in New England. Also, the return of All-Pro defensive tackle Aaron Donald to the NFL became more likely yesterday as he worked out for the Rams. Donald put on pads and went through various workouts to see how his body feels and would respond. Coming up tonight, the NFL returns with the Hall of Fame game in Canton, Ohio, as the Cardinals take on the Panthers to open the NFL preseason. Kickoff at 7 p.m. on NBC, or you can hear Westwood One's call right here on The Zone starting at 7. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and the Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Away we go into the second hour from the Vanderbilt Health Football Center. Ramon and Will rolls on with blue skies overhead. A gorgeous morning to talk about football with our friends. Brad Hopkins will join us at 9:20 this morning. You can join us at any time in the F&M Bank chat, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch, 615-737-1045. Big breaking news in the AFC South as Ian Rappaport is reporting. The Colts and running back Jonathan Taylor have agreed to terms on an extension. Ramon, let's play Whose Price Is It Anyway? What extension do you think Jonathan Taylor just received from the Indianapolis Colts?
I would go about a 2-year, $42 million.
If you had stuck with the number that you told me in the break, you would have been exactly right. 2-year, $44 million extension. We said yesterday, I'm going to take a victory lap.
Yeah, we will.
19 to 20 million is probably about where he lands. The full average annual value of his contract now with those 2 years added on, $19 million per year.
Talk to us like we know ball from here on out, okay? When you come to us, you say, hey, Ramon, ball knower. Hey, Will, bowling, you, yes, sir, ball knower. Can I ask you a question? Like, that's the way we're presented now moving forward, Will.
BK.
Okay, you know what I'm saying? Ball knower.
That's exactly right. Not Brian Kelly, ball knower.
Or not the Bronx.
Brian Kelly's not a ball knower. Yeah,
not
exactly
Brooklyn,
right.
not the Bronx. That's the BX. Not Brooklyn. Come on, man.
Interesting. So the Colts now, with still very high stakes this season, last dance kind of narratives surrounding their season with the contract situation of Quentin Nelson, have now given major extensions to 3 core players: Daniel Jones, Alec Pierce, and Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor was never going to get Bijan Robinson money.
No.
However, Bijan Robinson getting the ball rolling on running back contracts, do you think that helped Jonathan Taylor's get over the line to set the market at least a little bit on what the high end was?
Absolutely. And that's kind of where I was standing with the Bijan Robinson side of this thing is he, to me, was the level setter. Like, it's the same way I look at Lindenbaum and with Vegas. I don't know if there'll be another center that get more bread than he does moving forward, because that's the ceiling that teams are going to operate off of moving forward, where they feel comfortable. It's the same way, like I said, Adrian Peterson. He was the guy that kind of set that ceiling for running backs, and they're just now getting past that. Devon Achane, of course, pushed it up a little bit more, and then you got these super dynamic guys like Bijan Robinson that is getting it. And you can't – that was the thing about it, like looking at the Colts situation. You paid Daniel Jones. You ended up paying Alec Pierce. You got rid of a check as well with Michael Pittman Jr., so there's money to spend. On top of that, he had a really good year last year. Like, yeah, I mean, he's been the steady Eddie when it comes down to the Colts games, man. And you just knew, and you mentioned his age side of it. Like, He's not that old, but like you don't want to give him more than a new young Thundercat coming into the league. I felt like, and we were both right on that one, that his floor would be about 20 to 21. I mean, his ceiling would be about 20 to 21. And I think it's justified in what they gave him. These boys are excited about this new running back money. Mm-hmm. They're so excited. Mm-hmm. I just don't know where Jahmyr Gibbs sits on this one. Because after the show, I started thinking about what he means to Detroit. Not just for this year and what he's done, but like for the future too. Like they're in a position where Jared Goff is still there. Like they're in that window of where they still feel they can be competitive. And so I look at Jahmyr Gibbs as a guy that could probably get one of those $1 more contracts than what Bijan Robinson got. You know, like it is that side of it, which is probably what's taking so long. Mm-hmm. In finishing this negotiation, you got to give it to Nicole Lynn, man, with Bijan Robinson. Mm-hmm. She tweeted out, it's kind of funny, hey, I found that Brinks truck.
Yes, absolutely.
For running back?
Absolutely.
Do you feel, as we've spoken about this, I don't want to, just go off to the sidecar in this conversation.
Yeah.
But do you feel like we're getting back to just the importance of the running back position in the league? We speak about it a lot here.
Yes.
And it's been minimized for so long.
And I think that started with Saquon Barkley turning a contract with the Philadelphia Eagles into a Super Bowl championship.
Oh, did well. Yep, you're 100% right on that.
And now I think the trickle down of that is a team like Houston looking at their own offensive line and run game and entire offense and saying, well, maybe David Montgomery actually is closer to the missing piece for a team like that can now be defense and run game specific and thinking about ways to help your quarterback, not just being guys to throw to, but guys who can run and take pressure off of you at the same time as well. I think that's where a lot of this starts for sure. And I mean, again, like 7-on-7 and all of these things that have become more in vogue at all levels of football, guys want to be skill players. Yeah. Guys want to go run routes. Guys want to go catch. And that's not just wide receivers. That also applies to some running backs.
I think indirectly, and maybe I'm wrong and just looking too much in the weeds on this one, though, Will, but I think indirectly Jeremiah Love, being the 3rd overall pick, getting more money than almost any other running back in the league as well, probably played a part in that too. I think he's like top 12 when it comes down to running backs in the league as far as overall salaries and stuff. So, yeah, it put the running back market on notice when you draft a running back that high and you also have a Saquon. You also have Derrick. I think Derrick Henry is also helping that stigma of, hey, I'm older, but I'm still very productive. Mm-hmm. We watched teams go back and sign Adrian Peterson a few years back because they're looking for that type of guy again. Heck, Zeke Elliott went back to Dallas, if I'm not mistaken. Like, there's still the importance of that running back position, and I'm kind of glad that we are putting more eyes on it again because the issue that I think is satisfying the running back market, some of these young quarterbacks coming into the league, teams are recognizing the run game helps. Having a bona fide back helps you.
I think so too.
Whoever Arizona drafts next year at quarterback is going to love the fact that Jeremiah Love is there. Heck, Cam Ward is really loving what Tony Pollard and friggin' Tajay Spears are for him here as well. We've spoken about what the running game can do for young quarterbacks.
Yeah, I agree. The Baltimore Ravens feel the same way about Derrick Henry, who made some headlines yesterday.
Yeah, buddy.
On Up and Adams with Kay Adams, Derrick Henry on retiring a Raven.
I look out here and I'm seeing these beautiful trees and this like lodge atmosphere. It looks like a nice place to retire. Looks like a nice place when you are ready to end.
What other place would it be better to retire than a castle?
I just want to hear that this is where you like saw. You came and you saw this place and you go, this is where I see myself for the rest.
So this is when I'm done playing, I want it to be done playing here. So when I hang it up, Baltimore will be last place I want to be.
You got to get a ring first. You got to accept a compliment first because the Canton's not going to the Canton's going to knock on this man's door and he's not going to answer. He's going to be like, nah, don't deserve it. I don't deserve it. Like we got to work on that. Those are reps you can do with me.
That's what I'm saying. I got to keep working. What you told me.
You're like a terrible running back. Bottom tier. Just get to work. We'll be back. Thank you. Thanks.
All right. What do we think?
I ain't even blaming Derrick.
I'm not either.
I ain't even blaming Derrick. I'm blaming Kay Adams. People go, guys, fellas, men, dudes, bros, homies. They go on her show.
They get a little comfy, don't they?
They get real comfortable on Kay Adams' show. I ain't seen the audio or the visuals of it. Was she leaning in to Derrick on this type of stuff?
I don't know. Who's to say? Who's to say?
Who's to say? Kay Adams is using her abilities to get the most out of her interviews when guys go, I ain't ever heard Derrick Henry smile and talk like that before. Titans fans don't listen to that interview. I ain't ever heard Derrick smile and talk like this before, man.
So once he wasn't as comfortable and was just at his phone, Derrick Henry did tweet after the fact. He quoted this video saying, I would like to finish my playing career with Ravens. I never said anything about retiring. LOL. I'm enjoying being a Raven. I'll worry about that retirement bleep later. There is a difference between a player saying, I want to retire as a insert team here, or saying, I want to finish my career at this team. I think all Derrick Henry is saying is, in a perfect world, I'm not going to go to a different team before I retire.
Yeah.
This is not him changing the cap in Cooperstown when he goes into the Hall of Fame like you do in baseball. Like, Derrick Henry will always be a Titan and will always be remembered as a Titan, and may even still retire, Ramon, technically on a one-day contract the way like Keith Bullock did,
no doubt,
as a Titan.
Come back home.
All this was just, hey, I don't think I'm going to play anywhere else but when I hang it up in my perfect world. And what player isn't saying that when they're asked that question?
You got to be where your feet are, man.
I don't think there's any reason to lose any sleep over this.
She framed it in a way it was just very, very just fascinating. Like, I don't think she gave him an out on that one. And, of course, if he said, I'll think about other places. I think about Nashville when I get there. That's disrespectful to the Ravens fans, too. It was, and I said it was a real gotcha moment by pressuring him into what he wanted to do. But it's fascinating the fact that he did have to tweet about that later, because I'm sure that I saw it lightly yesterday. The heat from Titans fans on Derrick Henry's time that he spent here. Here's the other side of it, though, too. Depends on what Derrick does with the Ravens. If they do go win a Super Bowl, which that pathway is just hard, like, he will feel, an allegiance to what they are. They've paid him. They've kind of believed in his second resurrection of his career. The coach that brought him there isn't there anymore, though, too. So there's a lot that goes into what Derrick Henry is saying about his retirement as it pertains to his allegiance to a fan base.
Right.
Like, when you play for multiple teams, like, you have options. I think players have more in their minds about who they are. Like, I play with dudes, man, who are big-time fans of Tampa. Like, where they are. Like, they rooted for Tampa when they were on Monday Night Football and stuff like that. We go back and play them, and they loved them. Like, the league is more transparent, and I think that question allows you to be in that moment.
I think that's good perspective. That as fans, we can't fathom having any kind of split allegiance. But that is probably more real than we really think it is for NFL players.
I mean, think about Alontae. Alontae came to Titans games. Alontae Taylor came to Titans games as a high schooler, as a young athlete. And I know he probably has a real good allegiance with the New Orleans Saints now. There's a lot of this, and I think we overblow it sometimes when it comes down to what you are. Like, you're an NFL player, and Derrick's a hired mercenary for the Ravens at this point, too. Where he retires is where his last snaps are. When he does the ceremony, it would blow my mind if he doesn't come here and do a one-day contract with the Titans. Now, if he wins the Super Bowl, that's probably a different conversation on how he chooses to retire. He doesn't have to designate what he is in retirement, to be quite honest with you.
Right. No, I mean, in his mind, he can be whatever he wants to be. I mean, nationally, if he wins the Super Bowl, he would be remembered more with that image of him in purple and black with a Lombardi in his hands.
No doubt about it.
And that's just the reality. I mean, it's like Freddie Freeman left the Braves.
Yes.
He is now remembered as much, if not more, for his back-to-back World Series titles as a member of the Los Angeles Dodgers, as he is the World Series he won for the Atlanta Braves in 2021 when the Braves, who now, by the way, have a better record than the Dodgers, in case you're accounting, because I am, knocked the Dodgers out in the NLCS on the way to winning the World Series.
But think about this, even on a local tie, what is Mookie Betts?
A Dodger.
He's won one of the best World Series with the Boston Red Sox.
Yeah, he led the Red Sox back to a world title. But he's won multiple in L.A. at the end of his career.
But I'm sure there's a part of him that still stays in Boston too, as far as his heart and what he did in his career. So
for sure,
that's fair. I think the media overplays that, but I'm looking at Kay Adams real sideways moving forward. Will, I'm gonna start doing interviews with you like that.
Please don't.
Well, who's your favorite?
Don't do it to me. Do it to whoever we're interviewing.
You're the only one I got that I feel safe with. Who's your favorite co-host, Will? Me?
Ramon. The only co-host I have. Coming up, 615-737-1045, the number. We had an interesting call yesterday. Our friend Bam hit us up and talked about an article or a piece by somebody. I still haven't seen it, but I'll take his word for it. That expected the Titans to be in the 6 or 7 win range. I asked the question, would you be satisfied with that? He said no. Vegas says 6.5 is about right for this Titans team. We ran a Twitter poll yesterday that we've got up again at Ramon and Will. I'm curious, and I want to hear from you. 615-737-1045. Realistically, where are you satisfied this season from a win-loss perspective, from just the totality of what this season is? What would satisfy you as a good season in 2026 as a fan of the Tennessee Titans? And we'll do that coming up next. If you have a 2, 3, or 4% mortgage rate, don't refinance it. You don't have to, but you can still get cash out of your home. Introducing Loan Pronto's zero-cost equity loan. What's up? It's Will Bowling. That's right. With Loan Pronto, you can get all the cash you need without touching your first mortgage and without any fees. One local homeowner just got $100,000, paid off all their credit cards, paid off their existing HELOC, remodeled their kitchen, and saved over $1,500 per month. And it gets better. There is no hard credit pull up front, usually no appraisal, and no long, drawn-out process. And listen, no closing costs. You may even be able to skip your next 2 house payments. So call Loan Pronto now. Leave your low-rate mortgage intact, but get the cash you need in as little as 2 weeks without paying closing costs. That's loanpronto.com. See how much you can get right now at 615-499-5780. That's 615-499-5780 or online at loanpronto.com. For qualified homeowners, equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, NMLSconsumeraccess.org. 1 week away from preseason week 1 for your Tennessee Titans. What would satisfy you as a Titans fan in 17 games this season? Is it a win-loss record? Is it Cam Ward's progression? Is it defensive identity? Where are you at on this season being a success? Ramon Foster and Will Bowling. We bring this up because yesterday we talked to a frequent caller, Bam, and asked him, would 6 or 7 wins be enough? And he said, no.
Dang.
We put it to a poll at Ramon and Will, which says, and I quote, as I filibuster.
Yes.
And find the tweet.
You're almost there. I know you are,
Here
Will. There it is.
Titans fans, would you be content with a 6-11 season this year? 73% of you say no.
Wow.
27% of you say yes. Does that surprise you?
A little bit. It does surprise me.
You're doubling your wins from the last 2 seasons if you go 6-11 this year.
Yep, but it's still 6-11 and well below 500. I guess is where the common sense side of not being okay with being a loser, right? I guess that's the biggest part of it is fans sell out a lot and want in on all things good when it comes down to their teams. But the reality of it is this is a hard reset in which you've gotten a new coach. Mike McGowan's has moved in a leadership role with this team. Cam is still growing up. Like, there's a lot that goes into having this conversation. There's competition at right guard. You got to figure out we know who the starting corners are, but how you going to delegate this defense, the coaches? It's a lot of new. 6-11 looks bad. But when you look at the conversation, and when you look at how you get to that point, I guess is the biggest part of what this record means.
And that of course, has to be a caveat that we give. Not every 6-11 is created equally.
No, it's not. And
not every 8-9 is created equally. Not every 4-13 is created equally within
or even 14-3.
We're doing the best we can with what we know about right now.
No doubt. The Boston Titan, I guess we have a Titans fan up in Boston, says depends on what the 11 looks like.
That's a fair take.
So I guess the biggest conversation needs to be realistic. Vegas last year had the Titans over under at what, 5?
I don't remember.
It was something low, and I thought it was disrespectful. And
turned out being right.
It turned out being right.
This year it's 6.5 most places.
So up a game.
Here's my question for you then. In what world would 6-11 satisfy you? Talking about depends on what the 11 look like. In what world would the 11 be something you could stomach and say, all right, that's fine?
Beating the bad teams. I think the controlled chaos of what a football game looks like as long as it's not flagrant coaching decisions, as long as it's not you just getting your butt whipped by double-digit numbers, if there's been injuries and you find ways to have guys step up in moments, then there's a conversation to be had about that too. Because again, 6-11 sometimes can boil down to what Cincinnati was, right? Joe Burrow's not your starting quarterback. How does the coaches get the team prepared? And I know a lot of fans listening to me say this don't want to hear that conversation, but the league presents its own problems each and every year. Mm-hmm. Just kind of how it goes. Detroit had a hard reset as well. But that's the only, I guess, excuse I can give to what 11 losses would look like. I feel them.
To me, though, beating just the bad teams would feel a little bit like fool's gold, wouldn't it?
No, because I think that's a step up from where you have been in a couple other years.
It's true. Look, anything close to 6-7 wins is going to be a step up, no matter how you spin it. But the pessimists, if let's say you beat the Jets, you handle the Browns, you handle the Raiders, you handle the bad teams, the pessimists are going to sit here and say, all right, yeah, but are you really that much closer to being relevant in the AFC South? You just beat bad teams. Here's my question for you. Go ahead.
I was just going to add, last year's, to your point about beating bad teams, the 2 worst teams I think last year was Cleveland and Arizona. And, you convincingly beat Cleveland.
Well, and Chiefs with Chris Oladokin at quarterback's a pretty bad team.
It was a bad team.
It's still Spags on defense. It's still Steve Spagnuolo, the defensive coordinator.
They kind of packed it in.
That was a shell of Kansas City.
Yeah.
It's still a win. I mean, anyone on any given Sunday, obviously we know. But, like, just the reality of it was that last year's team was 3-14 and it didn't have that big, major signature win.
Yeah. So before you go further, I think a satisfying record for this fan base would be 7-8. 6-7 sounds like, you barely got over the hump. 7-8, I think, changes the conversation.
Sure.
Does it to you mentally? Like, because 7-8 mean like you're in probably a good bit of games that you just lost.
I do think it all depends on how you get there.
Okay.
So here's my question.
Tough question.
Here's my question. What if the 2026 Titans are last year's Saints? Could you get on board with that?
I would get on board with that.
They were 6-11 last year. Think about the good vibes right now around New Orleans. I'm not guaranteeing they're going to be great. But think about how much better it felt like that team got by the time they came to Nissan Stadium.
Yeah.
We're nodding our heads as Titans people saying, okay, that was a good performance against now a pretty solid football team. So last season, New Orleans won 4 of their last 5 games on the way to 6-11, winning at Tampa, at home against Carolina, at home against the New York Jets, and at the Titans. That backs up your claim that, hey, just beat the bad teams.
Yeah.
They beat the Titans and Jets for half of those wins. They had the 13th best passing offense of the NFL, despite the fact that Tyler Shuck only played 11 games and started 9.
Yeah.
But when the dust settled at the end of the season, Ramon, Tyler Shuck had 10 touchdowns to 6 picks, 68% completion percentage, 216 yards per game, and a 91.3 quarterback rating. He went 5-4 as the starter.
Not bad for a rookie with as much chaos as they have.
The difference here is that you're not throwing Cam Ward halfway into the season. So that's where this analogy kind of breaks down. New Orleans can claim, hey, we were better when Tyler Shuck played. Obviously, if you go 6-11 and Cam improves by the end of the season, he was still probably bad enough at the beginning of the season for you to still obviously lose 11 games. But that, to me, is where I could make an argument for a 6-win season that ascends up at the end of the year, coupled with quarterback development and competent quarterback play, and I could get on board with 6. That's not to say this team can't make a postseason run. That's not to say that I'm guaranteeing anything. I'm just saying I think there is a world where you feel like, all right, Cam Ward got a lot better. We ended on a win streak. We won 3 of our last 4 or 4 of our last 5, whatever it is. Cam Ward is our guy for year 3. We feel comfortable giving him the keys to the offense again. We've just got to get more players on this team for our new coaching staff's style of football. Let's open the new building feeling like we got a chance to make a postseason run in 2027. That's what I think a 6-11 season with a good finish and good quarterback play would do for this franchise in this market. I know it's not ideal, but I could make the argument for it being satisfying this season.
A few things have to happen that you'll feel a whole lot comfortable about in. One, progress of Cam, right? Like even
100, that is a non-negotiable in this season being a success.
At least one side of the ball has to look like, okay, they've taken a step in the right direction.
Well, Ramon, I think this team could go 8-9 or 9-8. But if it's all defense and Cam looks like he did last year, that to me is still worrying because now we're thinking about, do we need to go get somebody to compete with Cam Ward next season at camp?
JC, the O-line, the running back situation.
There needs to be some sort of balance between offense and defense, and your quarterback has to get better.
How I feel about this offense, I feel like it should be better than what it was last year just because you have a coach that has a plan.
I agree.
If it's better than last year, I'd say the offense could at least help get 2, if not 3 wins by itself, right? Because there's a lot that goes into winning football games. Coaching decision, coaching plays, health also plays a part. Defense and special teams plays a part in this as well. No dumb penalties that set you back from 3rd and 5 to 3rd and 10 where you can't convert. Conversion of those downs right there too. Aesthetically, what I'm saying is, the aesthetic side of this is, can you be a functional football team? And I feel like the last 2 years that hadn't been the case. The other part I think plays a part, and I had to look this up. You got to start breaking trends. Getting Cam's passing completion percentage, that's give or take, but controlling the ball and turnovers. The other part, though, for the fans' perspective, though, Will, back-to-back games need to be a part of it, winning it. I think when you look at that, game-winning drives, if you tell me, you see some remnants of that, I feel like it could get to 7 wins, this team.
Yeah.
How?
Absolutely it can.
How? Yet we'll have to wait until the season.
That's the thing. Show me an identity and
that's what I'm
a
saying.
graph with a stock price that is rising at the end of the season when the weather gets colder.
I think it starts with the belief that the rebuild is real.
Mm-hmm.
And winning back-to-back games, competing or beating Houston, Jacksonville, or the Colts, and not just in they're sitting their starters weekend, right? Even though you should win those games.
Beat the Texans.
Beat the Texans.
Not the Texans' backups.
Exactly.
Not the Colts or the Chiefs' backups like you did last year.
Yeah.
Because, let's face it, like beating Chris Oladokun, I know the defense is still good. It's just not the same thing as beating Patrick Mahomes. Like, that's what we're talking about.
Absolutely.
So 71% of you now say no on would you be content with a 6-11 season. Would love to hear from you at 615-737-1045. Chase hits us up and says, with a healthy and decent offensive line, no, would not be content. I don't think I understand. He says otherwise, yes.
With the O-line being healthy, he wouldn't be content with 6 offense. I mean, with 6 wins.
Okay.
Meaning that they should be a stronger team if they're healthy.
Cousin Hightower says, give me 10 wins, sweep the Texans and Colts. Whew.
That's strong.
Sweeping the Texans is a tall order.
I'm looking at the schedule right now. This is a better outfitted schedule than last year's, and revisiting it. I mean, but it's still challenging.
But we also were saying that about last year's schedule. This time last year.
Oh no, I'm comparing it to last year as well.
No, I know, but we were saying that last year too. Is what I'm saying.
But okay, I'm looking at if you can go 2-1, opening the season with the Jets, Philly at home, and at the Giants. That starts you off in a very good, winning each quarter.
I think if you want to be frisky and sneak your way into the postseason, that is a non-negotiable.
That's a non-negotiable.
I mean, obviously, it could work out to where you win. You get really hot in November and December. But considering you've got Jets and Giants as two of your first 3 games, if you're going to really exceed expectations this season, that is a critical stretch to keep everybody locked in on that being attainable.
I think they can go in the first quarter. I'm going to make a bold prediction. I hate doing this when it comes to wins and losses. The first quarter, I honestly don't see them going less than 2-2. And that, I think they can get the Jets. I feel like they can get the Giants, and this defense I feel like can beat Lamar.
I mean, Ramon, I feel like they could beat the Eagles at home. I don't know what the Eagles' offense is under new management. This time of year, there's a lot we don't know. There's a lot we don't know about these teams, including the Titans, which is part of the fun.
And I'm not even slandering Baltimore, when I say that, but I just feel like this defensive type puts guys in positions, and even against Philly, since you bring that up.
Yeah.
It's just how competent can the offense be?
Let's go to Drew on the phones. Wants to talk about Titans' expectations. What's up, Drew?
Morning, fellas.
Morning.
My thing is, it just depends on what the 6-11 looks like. Did we start hot, finish bad, or did we start decent and then finish strong? I just want to see us be in every game we play. I want to see the defense keep us in every game, and I want to see Cam Ward and the offense learn what it takes to close a game out. It just depends on what it looks like, man. I don't want to. 6-11 would be, bottom tier of the league, but it would be like upper bottom tier of the league. I would like to see us win at least 3 games in the division, maybe sneak out a win like in Houston or in Indy. I'd like to see us score points on good defenses. I would like to see us go down to Houston and hang 24 on the Texans. Win or loss, I would just like to see us be in every game and see Cam Ward and the offense learn what it takes to close a game out. I think our front 7 could be just as good as anybody's in the league. So I think our defense is going to be there. It's just kind of going to depend on what the offense does and how they look. So if Cam Ward can take the step forward, I think 7 wins, 8 wins is very doable. But if we go 6-11, I just think it depends on what the 6-11 looks like. Did we get blew out 8 times, or just manhandle?
Yeah.
It just kind of depends on what it looks like, man.
Yep.
But y'all have a good day. I'll be calling back. You'll hear from me.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you.
Thank you, Drew. Appreciate you.
Great perspective.
Fair take. What's yours? 615-737-1045. Your phone calls on this topic after this.
A day at the spa, the perfect gift for birthdays, anniversaries, or any occasion. Lavish and luxurious, yet affordable. A grand gesture, yet simple for you. The gift card from A Moment's Peace. Give her the gift she won't buy herself. An escape, a bit of luxury. Something special that shows more than just words. A gift from A Moment's Peace Salon and Day Spa in Cool Springs across I-65 from Galleria Mall. Call 615-224-0770 or go online at amomentspeace.com anytime.
What's happening? What's happening, good people? Let me go on and tell you while you're walking into your weekend what you need to be looking for. That is a truck. Yeah, Mid-10 Ford, they got you covered. They're going to take care of you. All you got to do is slide in there and let them know, hey, man, Big Slay told me. And they will look out for you. Go in there and holler at my guys, Trey, Matt. They're going to be right there to help you walk through the process of going to get your truck. And guess what? It's nothing that's going to be pressure, no high pressure, just low pressure approach, no gimmicks, no pushy sales tactics. That's not what they're about. They're about getting the job done and getting you comfortable and understanding exactly what you're getting into. It's a one-stop shop. If you need service, Mid-10 Ford, they got you covered. They are the ones you need to be looking for. When it comes to the right vehicle, they got you covered. Even a body shop, service, financing, sales, they got it, all of that. All you got to do is go to 1319 Foster Avenue. Visit mid10fordtrucks.com.
Wrapping up the first half of the show this morning on Ramon and Will, Ramon Foster and Will Bowling. What are the expectations that you, the Titans fan, has for the 2026 Titans season? I think we have had a lot of measured takes, Ramon.
Yeah.
It's not as simple as a number of wins and losses. We're going to have to see progress at quarterback and have to see progress by the end of the season. I think that's the biggest goal. And again, you know how much I love stealing this Mike Keith phrase that he said with us on the show a couple of years ago. Is the arrow pointing up at the end of the season? Are you trending in the right direction when the dust settles in early January? Or maybe February?
Maybe February. The question is, yes, you always want to do more than expected. I'm thinking, of course, like the reset that the Patriots had, which is unprecedented that you just go that far and go that route so soon on a new coaching change and quarterback and stuff like that. I will say this, though. I do think the fan expectation needs to be higher, though, just based on the fact that year 2 for Cam, you ended up getting him more weapons this year, and you feel like you have coaches that know how to handle situations. I will say Cam's second year, coaches understanding the game flow and how to operate, like that should contribute to more wins in itself. It's a matter of talent at that point in game planning, Will, to not overexpose yourself in your weaknesses. Like, it's still a build-up. I don't want to overdo this one. No, I think 7-8 is a good number instead of 6-7.
I mean, I just think you go into every season of this league thinking about possibilities.
Yeah.
And obviously we know what the floor looks like over the past 2 seasons,
Sure.
but again, I'm not making any promises. I'm not trying to be unrealistic, but do you honestly think Jacksonville was thinking about being division champions this time last year?
No.
Do you honestly think New England was thinking about going to the Super Bowl this time last year?
Do you think, the Houston thought they would lose the AFC South? Do you think, look at the Colts.
I say it every offseason. Every team has a pathway to being competent. Some are just a lot wider than others.
Yeah.
Some of them are a dang freeway. The Rams have a long, wide Los Angeles highway toward being competent this year. There are many different lanes that they can take, and they're going to end up at the same destination of the postseason. Some teams are those little trails on the side of the Grand Canyon where you're trying to walk on it. Like, if I take a wrong step here, I'm going tumbling hundreds of feet down, and I'm dying a very sad death. That's kind of morbid for 7:50 in the morning. But, like, you get the point that this team is one of those that has a pathway toward contention in the playoffs, toward getting back to relevance of the AFC South. There's just a lot that's got to bounce your way and go right. Yeah. And none of us are going to guarantee it or promise it. I like the fact that Titans fans feel optimistic and feel the buzz around this team. There does, Ramon, feel like, we've said it before, but I will say it again this offseason, there is a little bit of better energy and a better vibe around this football team. Vibes don't win you games on Sundays, but it could be a sign of better things to come in 2026 for the Tennessee Titans, and I can't wait to find out.
Same.
They're better than they were last year.
I like the unknown component of it.
Yes.
I felt like we felt
fun.
We felt a little too sure last year about what it could be.
I remember saying all these same things last year. I don't know.
I genuinely was just of the mindset, like, I thought Cam would add a different component until you realize teams salivate over rookie quarterbacks.
Well, and I think that things got very real a couple of weeks in.
Yeah, but even still, though, Will, looking at the mistakes, let's just go Cam's route. Like, the mistakes that Cam did by trying to do too much. Like, if you taper that down just a little bit and say, like, make those plays that are given to you, I think that's what Dable does for you. That keeps you safe in game. That keeps you in game, right? Like, that's what you're looking for. It's what one of our callers said, like, as long as you're not – I don't want to say as long as you're not getting blown out.
Right.
But you don't want to be a Titans fan, and I talked to a lot of them last year. You did as well. Man, I ain't watching the game. Like, that's a sad feeling. Like, to coin Bucks Rising, sad boy radio, sad boy football.
Yeah, can we the goal of this season should be for Buck Rising to give away to Goodwill his sad boy radio hat.
Oh, exactly.
Which I might just confiscate anyway.
Like, it's that side of it as a fan that you don't want to feel. Like, I'll be honest with you, going 8-8,
you feel like you're in the season by the end of the season.
Going 8-8 doesn't feel right, but in those games, you felt like you were in.
Well, I mean,
like 4 of those 8 you lost.
Right, and to our point earlier about if the Titans can just be last year's Saints again, I feel like Saints fans are still pretty locked in by the end of the season because their team won 4 of their last 5.
Man, what I will say is this. I respect the hell out of Titans fan by keeping the foot on the gas, though.
Absolutely.
I don't.
Absolutely. You guys want to be great, and I'm glad.
Yeah, because it's been hard,
Yeah.
Like
Right.
watching other teams fill the bottom bowl of your stadium. Like, that's a hard life to live when you pour your soul into a team, and that's what you're trying to get away from.
Yeah.
The demand is high.
Our friend Duck on YouTube says, hear me out. The Titans win 6 games, but we have a 1,000-yard rusher, 1,000-yard receiver, 2 700-plus yard receivers, and a 4,000-yard passer. That's a win. Absolutely, that's a win. Because, Ramon, long-term, I'm not worried about Robert Saleh's defense.
No.
When he has time and draft classes to build his style of defense in Tennessee, if you can guarantee me that Cam Ward is a 4,000-yard passer, we've got something.
I'm going to be real.
We've got something.
If you're 4,000-yard passer, unless he's Deshaun Watson this thing.
Right.
Then, I
you're in a good place.
I'm going to get real cocky about 7-8 wins.
You are in a good place because this defense is going to get better. I don't know how quickly it's going to happen, but those teams in New York had nothing at quarterback.
That's true.
Under Robert Saleh. And part of that he is accountable for also, to be fair. But also, if you could guarantee me that you're going to have great quarterback play and this offense is going to be that good, this defense will figure it out.
Man.
It just might take time for them to get more of their guys in here.
No doubt about it.
But I think they've got enough guys this year to be okay on defense.
Somebody was making a perspective, speaking of the defensive, like Jeff's frustration with how he challenges the offensive line is because you kind of want to force them to grow up. Like this offense, I
think there's probably some truth to that. Yeah,
I've lived in that world where you walk off the field as an offense or defense, and you look at the defense like, are y'all gonna do any damn thing today? Like, that's tiring. That's divisive too. Will you'll be a good teammate, but like pressing your team to pull their own on game day.
Yeah,
that's what camp is for.
Right.
I'm gonna be. That's what those little skirmishes are about. I want to see what you made of because I know what we are on this side of the ball is. And I will say I do think that is a Dable component where you do kind of believe in that. You do believe in the O-line coach, Luke Stocker, the tight end coach. You do believe in the running back coach. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot that goes into trying to build a team that's winning.
Yeah, you believe you're heading in the right direction.
And I like those challenges. That's why when Coach Saleh was giving that we going to do it again, we'll have another fight, just don't throw any punches. That'll get you fired, okay? But, like, push them.
Show some fight.
Show some fight.
Yeah. 615-737-1045 is our number as we roll into the second half of the show. Headlines for you when we come back, plus a question for Ramon. How does the pressure of now being a week away from preseason week 1 impact today's practice and training camp moving forward? We'll talk about that coming up next.
Have you heard that a lot of corporate-owned chain jewelry stores are shutting their doors? So many smart shoppers have figured out that the cookie-cutter jewelry is boring and mediocre service is unacceptable. That's why Genesis Diamonds is having record success. Genesis, they are locally owned. They're staffed by real experts with warranties and guarantees that are unheard of, with personal attention, with case after case of unique, fashion-forward designer jewelry with no attitude, no pushy salespeople, no inflated pricing games. Genesis not only guarantees the best price, but their quality is second to none. The world's top bridal designers have chosen Genesis as an authorized retailer because they meet the highest standards. Whether you're looking for a classic ring or ultra-modern ring, a natural diamond or a lab-grown diamond, Genesis has options for you at every price point. And you will love the laid-back, fun experience when you walk into their stores. It is as far from a Wall Street corporate box store as you can get. Genesis Diamonds, they're located in Green Hills and Cool Springs, and also do not miss their amazing selection of luxury pre-owned Rolex watches.
Good morning, live from the Circus Sports at the Mid-Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Justin Hawkins. Breaking NFL news this morning. The Colts and star running back Jonathan Taylor have agreed to terms on a big-time 2-year, $44 million contract extension per Ian Rappaport and Adam Schefter. $39 million is guaranteed, and it's the largest third contract for a running back in NFL history. Taylor has 626 carries for 3,026 rushing yards and 32 total touchdowns over the last 2 seasons for the Colts. The Titans in the Robert Saleh era officially begins a week from today when the Titans face the 49ers to open the preseason. Today, they're back on the practice field as training camp continues at Vanderbilt Health Football Center. Practice at 10:15 this morning. Then head coach Robert Saleh and select players will speak to the media following practice. Also, the return of all-pro defensive tackle Aaron Donald to the NFL became more likely yesterday as he worked out for the Rams. Donald put on pads and went through various workouts to see how his body feels and would respond. And coming up tonight, the NFL returns with the Hall of Fame game in Canton, Ohio, as the Cardinals take on the Panthers to open the NFL preseason. Kickoff is at 7 p.m. on NBC, or you can hear Westwood One's call right here on The Zone starting at 7. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and the Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Second half of the show, Ramon and Will live from the Vanderbilt Health Football Center. Ready for another padded practice of Tennessee Titans training camp. We are 1 week away from Titans football in a stadium. American tackle football on Titans radio, on News 2, in your hearts and minds. Ramon, we are very excited. In 1 week, we will be in Santa Clara, California, getting ready to call a Titans game together. Yeah. Just on a personal level, I'm excited to work with you on a game that's beyond the high school level.
It is.
And I love doing high school football, but the last time you and I called a game together, it was a high school game, and we're going to work together on a broadcast in an NFL stadium next Thursday.
Arian Carter's last high school game?
I'm pretty sure that actually is right. And so hopefully we can't get suspended, too, by the NCAA just for being there.
Nah, screw that. We not getting suspended by the NCAA, man. That's what I was going to say. Suspended Vol, Arian Carter,
They tend to do stupid suspensions these days, I'm told.
They do, man. I'm looking forward to this trip on Monday. I'm trying to plan out my packing because as a taller, bigger guy that's not, having the team wash my clothes because I'm no longer a former player, no longer a player. I'm trying to figure out, I got to hit up somebody and be like, hey, how big of a suitcase can I bring? Like, do I just bring like a, overhead? And I need this many amounts of clothes. How many shoes do I bring? Like, there's a lot that kind of go into this conversation because I got to have the game day fit, right? Probably just trying to find some comfortable shoes.
That's right.
And got to wear pants. I don't think we're doing broadcast in shorts already. Like, no, we're not doing that.
No, I don't think so.
Not even a little bit. So
we could both pull that off when we were sideline reporters, but in the booth, things are a bit more professional.
A little bit more professional.
Just a little bit.
Just a smidge, man. But I'm looking forward to this joint practice. That's what I want to see. It's one thing to go against your teammates daily, but to be in a practice setting, and I've been in those before against an opposing team, it hits a little bit different. Tempers are a little bit higher. Pride, I think, is the biggest factor when it boils down to joint practices. That's what coaches don't want to tell everybody else. Having been in rooms, they don't necessarily say, hey, we got to win today, but it's one of them, represent us well today, fellas.
Don't embarrass us.
And
Good luck, we're all counting on you.
Because that's the part of, like, joint practices. Somebody has to, I don't want to say you have to bend the knee, but you can't have complete chaos. How do you justify good on good in a non-finable situation? Because the league can't fine you if you fight in these moments, or the quarterback's the only protected entity in this, right? And that's kind of the respectable part of this. But O-line versus D-line, how hot it get if you have Renardo Green hit one of the wide receivers he's not supposed to, who is a cornerback, a safety for the 49ers. Like, you got to deal with that too. And just to be quite honest with you, I think you got to bring, just a crap ton of aluminum foil out there to kind of fight the substation too. Kind of protect yourself. Have you not seen that account on Twitter?
Oh, no, I have. I like it very much.
Oh, my God.
It's hilarious to me. Sam Monson summed this up really well. I mean, pull up his tweet about this because I want to quote him word for word. Our friend from the 33rd team, and that's not North Carolina. That's like the actual outlet, the 33rd team. He said, this is perfectly put. I'm of the opinion that both of the following are true. The substation has nothing to do with the 49ers injury record, but almost every post about it being the cause of all woe is funny and makes me laugh.
Yes, it is.
Correct.
You see him defending himself, the substation account, against the 2049.
Himself. It's a he? Itself. Yeah.
Itself. Why did I just give it a gender like that? That's on me. I'm sorry, everybody.
Yeah, sorry, substation.
Do you see it defending itself when it came down to 20 49er players being out of practice? 20.
Yesterday there was a tweet.
20.
That said, at Sleeper 49ers. The 49ers not practicing today. Nick Bosa, soreness. Dre Greenlaw, soreness. Osa Odigizua, soreness.
Nice.
Kyle Juszczyk, finger fracture. You like how I just went through that without messing up?
Good.
Mid-season form.
That.
Jacob Cowing, hip flexor. Mike Evans, quad. DeJon Stribling, hamstring. Craver Willis, concussion protocol. Brett Toth, unspecified. And the electrical substation quote tweeted it and said, "Num num 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 num." Oh, that's so good.
It's almost as good as the Andrew Luck account that was on Twitter.
It's just wow. How do I not follow the substation? It's so simple.
I refuse to.
It's because it's funny because it's not actually a thing, but like it's become such a good running joke. Such a good running joke in the NFL right now.
And what's wilder is you see the 49ers content that come out from practice, and in the background, it's almost as big as the Titans bubble. You know, like that they have out here on the. It's huge.
I know.
And again, the science has somewhat said that this electrical system has no bearing on injuries whatsoever. But 20 guys out of practice. I said this the other day when we were speaking about this with the 49ers. They play a very fast and physical, like reactive type of football. And the way their offense is set up to be quick hitting, all of the motions and the pre-snap hits that, like Kyle Juszczyk having a fractured finger, like I don't think it was a Brock Purdy pass that did it to him. Like he's asked to do a lot of stuff in that offense that involves physicality and like blocking. Those guys, like they might need to mend how they go about practicing that offense in the preseason. I'm probably all the way off base with it, but when you ask for that much physicality during the season, you have to kind of prepare for it in practice, in preseason. You just better find a better way to keep your guys on the field because minus 20 players on one day is strenuous to the other guys that are on the field as well.
It's hard for the other 71.
I mean, these are 2-hour practices of physicality, and minus 20, that's a lot of dudes down.
What kind of practice do you expect here today, considering there is a blue and white scrimmage tomorrow night at Nissan Stadium and you're coming off of an off day?
A little bit of a ramp up. You have to get back into it. I think it will be run focused for the most part, just to get guys back into the feeling of hitting pass, because that's what training camp is as well, as conditioning you for that. I've always kind of said your body gets hardened, and there's no way in hell I see them going into a position where we'll just ease into this thing. Like, no. Coach Sala and his staff seem to do a real good job of getting guys prepared for practice, the pre-practice side of it. By the time you hit the ground running, they're rolling. Or by the time you get to the first period, they're rolling. So I expect more of the same. Tomorrow night for the blue and white scrimmage at the stadium, it's for the fans, I feel like, more than – there'll be good work given, but I don't know if we'll see a Tuesday practice in the stadium, if that makes sense to you.
No, I think tomorrow is more
Friday Night Lights?
Scrimmage.
You do?
Like it feels more like, I mean, the way Robert Salas talked about it, of like the blue and white game on Friday. Like this feels to me a little bit more than just a normal practice that's happening tomorrow night that you might, to your point, ramp up for a little bit and not maybe be totally like, well, you might be vanilla today.
Yeah, okay. I kind of see today.
So we could have chocolate chip cookie dough tomorrow night.
Here's the thing, though.
It's my favorite.
They're in camp. I don't know. Like,
that's true.
I'm minimizing.
We don't ever have to be
a little
vanilla.
bit. No, you don't have to be vanilla. And it's his job to get this team conditioned to be tougher. And I hate using that word because you play football, you're usually tough anyway. But executing at a high blip is kind of what I'm saying. You can't really pull off the gas like that.
Coming up, going to talk about what we have learned so far. We are 1 week removed from our first day out here at Titans training camp. What is the biggest positive? What's the biggest thing you'd like to see improved? And are you satisfied with Cam Ward's development so far in training camp? We'll talk about that live from the Vanderbilt Health Football Center as Ramon and Will continues after this.
When you start noticing cracks in the walls, uneven floors of driveways sinking and separating, it's more than a home issue, good people. It's a peace of mind issue. That's why who you choose for foundation repair concrete leveling, it really matters. I trust United Structural Systems because they've been doing this the right way since 1994. Right here in Tennessee, USS, they don't believe in the quick fixes or those scare tactics to just sell you something. They take the time to inspect, explain what is happening, and walk you through real proven solutions that are built to last. Whether your home needs foundation stabilization, crawl space repair, or concrete leveling for sinking sidewalks, patios, or driveways, USS uses engineered systems designed for long-term performance, not temporary patches. USS, they offer several payment options to help you take care of the most important thing in your life besides family. That's your home. You can get a 10% discount if you pay in full, or fix it now and pay later with 18 months, no payments, no interest, or choose the 36 months, no interest with low payment options for qualified buyers. Again, take care of your most important asset, man, with USS. They're dependable, they're trustworthy, they're USS. So reach out to them and learn more by heading over to USSTN.com.
Ramona Will on 104.5 The Zone. Preseason football 1 week away for your Tennessee Titans. And tonight, for the Hall of Fame game, the equivalent, according to one tweeter with us this morning, of when your waiter brings you a water before they actually take your real drink order. The perfect way to describe the Hall of Fame game.
It is. perfect way.
Absolutely. I got to give credit. Juice on Twitter, at RealJuice21, says the Hall of Fame game is like the waiter bringing water before taking your drink order.
No doubt about it.
Like, you know what? I'm still going to look at other stuff. I'm gonna have other options here. I'm not just going to sit on the water.
Yeah, we're not that impressed by it, but we like it.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying?
It nourishes us, but it doesn't totally satisfy our thirst.
Starting quarterbacks tonight, though, Carson Beck and Kenny Pickett. What a fall from grace. Would
have been a great college football lineup in 2022.
Oh, seriously. I was going to say Super Bowl
21,
champion Kenny Pickett. That's the other side. They can't leave that out.
That's crazy.
Nah, hey, man, rode the wave there and went to Cleveland right after that.
Carolina and Arizona. I'll watch one quarter just to hear an NFL broadcast, and then I will go to things that are more interesting to me, like literally anything else on television.
Doom scrolling. Yeah.
Like watching my TikTok algorithm that I was just showing Ramon how weird it is over the break. And Braves Marlins tonight. Braves have won 7 in a row. Better record than the Dodgers.
Can a person bet on this tonight?
Oh, yeah.
You can?
Yeah. Wow. And there is a gambling hotline number if you – I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Kind of kidding.
Kind of kidding. No, seriously. No, seriously, Will.
All right, Ramon. How satisfied are you with Cam Ward's development in training camp so far? Has he gotten better? About the same? Do you need to see more? As we kind of take stock 1 weekend, where are you on the starting quarterback of the Tennessee Titans?
I feel like he's gotten better. Like, even though there's some misses, turnovers, you still, like, I look at his feet, his footwork. I look at where his eyes and decision-making has been. Even if he's missing, like, the ability to shift his brain into thinking quicker than it did last year, I like that for Cam. Again, I'm not saying it's perfect in any capacity because a lot of people say he stinks. It's been hot and cold. It's been all of those types of things. I look at the entire process of how you become a better player, and I'm seeing him not race out the pocket in times that he does. He's paying for it too. But I've seen him be more in the pocket this training camp than he did last year. And I know it's early on with this, but you're seeing him keep the integrity of the pocket. And that goes a long way as far as his sack totals, as far as his offensive line trust and knowing where he's going to be at. He's building a rapport to those guys, letting them know that he trusts them. And I think that's a super fascinating part of what he's done so far in training camp, man. I like that.
According to Jim Wyatt's statistics and doing math on Cam's last day when he was 10 of 18 with the long touchdown pass to Carnell Tate, Cam Ward is 56 of 94 with 3 interceptions so far in training camp.
I think we're right at 60% completion percentage on that one, too.
Roughly.
Looked it up yesterday. It's 59.5 is where he's at right now. Again, step in the right direction. This is training camp. He's going to try some stuff out. He's going to do some stuff.
Yeah.
Where, a lot of people have seen as far as if you're going to knock Cam for something, it is having a good touch on those sideline passes where they don't sail. This is the thing about development. You still do some of your old things until you really see it on tape again, which we spoke about earlier in film. Some of those sideline throws or overthrow here or there is some of the stuff that you still have to clean up. I don't want to call them layups because, again, I'm not in the pocket. I'm not his height. I'm not around those guys that are trying to get after him. And tempering those emotions when it comes down to how you execute a pass, I think is more fascinating. The offense seems to fit what Cam is, though, and I think that's going to go a long way. The more reps he gets, and I'll be real with you, Will, the more early on that he messes up. We don't want to have that conversation, or people are not satisfied with the idea that Cam had a bad day. But you've seen it. Everything is filmed. They watch it. Those corrections is where you want to see him take those next steps, man. And the same way that we felt like he cooked on day one with the plays that he was making, the defense got him back when it came down to him being in pads. He ended up closing out. Tuesday with a monster throw. Like those spots right there. I don't know. We've seen plenty of those last year in training camp. That was probably his best in-game camp throw that he's had. Well, in-camp throw that he's had for a while now. And I think those are the things you have to look at instead of saying he's still where he was. No, steps have been made. And I think if you're a coach and you understand what ball is, and I'm not minimizing what people critique of him is, you see those incremental steps being made.
So I want to get into biggest positives and things to improve upon for this team from the team perspective for all 91 guys through camp so far. But let's break this down just for Cam first, Ramon. The biggest positive that you have seen in Cam Ward so far in training camp is what?
Pocket presence. Period.
I think that's well put.
Pocket presence.
I think Steve Palazzolo was telling us the other day during practice, and I think he said it perfectly. When Cam Ward stands in the pocket, he looks great.
I ain't even talked to Steve about that.
He looked at me, he's like, man, when he's in the pocket, he's great. It's the other stuff where you see some old habits start to come back in. Even last year, we weren't always saying, man, when he stands and delivers and fires, things look great. But we are seeing a bit more consistency in that regard so far.
You are, and that just gives you, again, Coach Dable, I think, is protecting him. I think the offensive line is trying to take on that challenge daily. We're trying to make sure that he operates the way he needs to. It's not just a Cam thing. It is the big boys up front. It is the running backs picking up blitzes and Cam also knowing where to go with the ball. I feel like, other than a couple times, I felt Tuesday – he kind of boarded the pocket, and he paid for it. You know, there was one pass he just chucked in the air just because, like, I'm cooked on this type of scenario right here, though, too. He kind of just threw it up in the air, but, like, that was Mitch. Mitch Trubisky just kind of threw the ball up in the air. But you see Cam get outside of the pocket, and there's nowhere to go. Like, get rid of it, dirt it, or just throw it in those moments right there. But he, in my opinion, is holding down the fort in the middle of the pocket longer than I feel like we saw any time last year, or even at Miami for that matter.
Mm-hmm.
And guys are benefiting from it.
Negative for Cam Ward. What do you want to see improved from him specifically?
Sideline accuracy. This offense has got guys that can break a guy down inside and go out towards the sideline. Getting that. He had a couple, I feel like, that kind of sailed out of his hand, whether that was shoulders, whether that was rushing it, whether that was just bad eyes on where he thought the receivers was going to be at. I got no problem whatsoever on the miscommunication routes that he and the wide receivers may have. Oh, I thought you were going to do this and you didn't. You handle that in meetings, right? But I feel the sideline touches when it comes down to him getting the ball for those quick fives that you got to have that's essentially the same as a run. I felt that showed up a little bit more on Tuesday. And, again, that may have been a day that they want to incorporate more of those, and Cam finding the ability to get those open because he got guys that can get out of their break and catch a ball quickly. That, to me, is where you don't want to have that, well, Cam's selling the ball a little bit too much. That's – I ain't going to say it's an easy cleanup, but that's something I'm confident in he's got the arm strength to handle.
I think that's a really good answer because right now, Ramon, the biggest thing I want to see change for Cam Ward this season is tucking it and running it more.
Smart, yeah.
But here, I don't think we're going to see that as much because the goal, even on plays that seem dead, right, on an NFL practice, is to still throw the ball and try things out.
Yep.
There is still that balance on a practice field that might not exist when you get into a football game.
No doubt. I mean, coaches they tell guys, stay in the pocket no matter what. Like, the defensive line may sack him.
Make a throw.
They're going to touch his hip and be like, I got you.
We got to evaluate these wide receivers. Those guys need reps. Those guys need to catch some footballs. Like, we got to throw this football here.
Throw is definitely still going to happen.
But maybe in game settings, your order of operations is a little bit different. Of, hey, if this does break down, Cam, buddy, just tuck it and run it and get down.
It'll be, I'm hoping, to your point, the decision will be made quicker. Every quarterback that Davis had has been able to run the ball and run it efficiently, too.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I've said it as far as threat. That's the 11th man right there.
I will say one small positive that I've seen from Cam Ward during training camp, and it's really small, but it's something that may help you not turn the ball over when the season starts. Cam practicing sliding.
You've seen it more, haven't you?
A couple of times when Cam does actually tuck it and run it, which is not very often, he'll actually slide.
Yep.
Let's go ahead and practice that now. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Like, don't even get fake tackles on you. Like, don't even let a defender have the chance to touch you. Just slide. Just slide. Let's create good habits.
And if he creates a reputation for that, he might get somebody to hit him and pick up an extra 15.
And speaking of Kenny Pickett, then you could start pulling out the fake slide. No, I'm kidding.
That.
Don't actually do that, Cam, please, if you're listening. You're not listening. He's been here for 3.5 hours already.
Exactly. He's turning us on right now. He's not in meetings where he's supposed to. But that's also where I feel like I'm sure Dable and Shea Tierney have turned on the tape of Jackson Dart last year. Like, this is what happens when you don't protect yourself.
Yeah.
Because he took
They lived
shots.
that last year.
Yeah,
we don't
did.
need Daboll going into the concussion tent to try to make sure that Cam's okay.
What a moment that was. What a moment.
One of the great, funny, did that really just happen moments of last NFL football season.
Didn't he get reprimanded by that, too?
I'm pretty sure
he did.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he got reprimanded by the league.
Yeah. I agree with you, though. I think the negatives for Cam, just that touch past 5 to 10 yards, being accurate. We saw some high passes the other day, like we saw for a lot of last season, some passes behind guys. Part of that's going to be timing and working with a lot of receivers that he did not work with last season, because Elikai Manor, Calvin Ridley, and Chimere Dike are the three who are carried over from a season ago. But yeah, I think it's the accuracy piece of it. That's the thing that's still got to improve for Cam so far in camp.
It does, man, and I think the other part though too. And I heard a little bit of the snippet that Jeff Simmons had on the Pivot podcast, man.
Yeah, he was good on there.
He was. From the little bit I saw, I got to go watch the entire thing. But just hearing Jeff speak about Cam's leadership taking a tick up, like demanding that from his teammates, I think you'll see that. That's usually a quality of a franchise quarterback. Like, Jeff is telling Cam, like, this is your team.
Yeah.
I kind of want to see Cam, like, Cam's been taking on that role, but also executing that role too, Will, and that's making those plays, right? That's also knowing when to say, I'm cool, we'll get them the next time. Not in a game sense, but like series to series. Throw the ball away, be okay with a handoff or just a 5-yard check down to where you can start playing the field position game. Like hearing Jeff say that, it's like Cam wants to be great, but it comes in time. That's what essentially he was telling. Like, some of this stuff has to come to you, and you can't force it. And that's where those risky plays, like I love what he was able to do with that play when first day of pass when he kind of chucked it with his left hand.
Yep.
But Will, is that a real pass you want to happen in a game?
No.
Not
consistently.
Not consistently.
If that happens once a season, fine.
Yeah.
Not consistently.
Ball's in harm's danger, right?
Well, and sometimes the plays that get you on the NFL Instagram account aren't actually plays that you want to be doing very often. Like, I remember last year when he made the throw to Io Manor in the back of the end zone for his first touchdown. And wasn't it Zaire Franklin that said, I hope he makes that throw again?
Yeah, do it.
I dare you. I dare you to try that crap again. And then who does he throw a pick six on the first drive against? But the Indianapolis Colts.
See what I'm saying?
On the Jeffrey Simmons front, and I saw that clip too yesterday, paraphrasing basically what he said. He said, Jeffrey Simmons speaking to Ryan Clark, that whole crew said, I was having a conversation with Cam in the weight room. He said, I'm not going to get into all the specifics, but the gist of it is, you've got to be careful with the words that you say to your teammates, because this is not my team. This is your team. You were the quarterback of this team. And he said, I'm really not going to go into a whole lot more specifics other than just, I've told him, you've got to be responsible for everything that you say to this team, because guys are looking up to you and listening to you. What do you think he means by that?
You want me to be real with you?
Absolutely.
I'm going to be cussing out everybody when y'all make a big play. Like, I ain't saying he cussing out people, but, like, if you make a play, business as usual. The expectation of, like, hey, this is normal to us. Push that confidence into your guys. Like, talk to your offensive guys. Like, don't go at the defense like it's us versus y'all. Like, we're together on this, because it'll be those moments, like I mentioned, watching the quarterback series and the Titans won that game, and they got the better part of Chris Jones, but your guys up front might not be the same way as you are. And I think that's what Jeff's kind of saying, like, be careful how you lead and what you say to guys, because you don't want to create enemies on your own team. And let me say, I think Cam's got everybody in the wagon with him.
I agree.
But when we're trying to build together, the competitiveness of it is real. But the back and forth, how you'll say piercing things to me, I might take that a little serious. And if I take it more serious and I push your starting guard into you and you get hurt because you've ticked me off, then, like, be careful on how you make it about us.
Pick your moments.
Yeah, and keep it about the team.
And sometimes just about your offense. Because I remember, too, speaking about the Cleveland game last year, and this kind of made quarterback when Jeffrey Simmons was talking about it, and Cam Ward clarified a little bit of what he had to say. He said to Netflix, I was speaking a little bit more for the offense than I was the defense. Our offense was sloppy. Okay, well then, Cam, tell the offense the issues that you have about celebrating. The defense, maybe they get to celebrate a little bit more. Like the example I think back to is, I remember hearing stories of last year in joint practices in Tampa when the Titans had a joint practice with the Bucs, and Cam, after a very sloppy joint practice for the offense, kind of got up and chewed out the entire team in front of reporters out there on the field when, maybe it was just the offense that had a little bit of a tougher day. I remember hearing, reports about that last year about, Cam, Cam's very vocal with his guys. You're not watching the defense. No. You're in a joint practice where you're just with the offense. And, that's something that we are watching, and we're watching all these interactions. And that was a year ago. And obviously maybe Cam has understood and adjusted on things like that. But that's something that, Tampa reporters and Titans reporters are talking about last season of that was a little fiery practice at the end of it. But the defense maybe wasn't that bad.
Right.
That's maybe kind of the example that
it is.
As you grow up in this league, you understand picking your moments.
And the intent is perfect.
It 100% is.
The intent is perfect.
100% is.
What I would say, this is a league of prove it to me, each and every year, and respect me and proving it to me as well. And I'm guessing Jeff probably gave examples of that to Cam in that intimate conversation that he didn't disclose. And I'll say this too, man. Shout out to Jeff and his ability to get better with the media.
This is a positive. This is not a negative. I think it's a positive that Jeffrey Simmons and Cam Ward have that kind of relationship where they can clearly speak openly with one another. Yeah, sometimes just very loudly after a touchdown on the practice field or after a sack on the practice field. Because all this is healthy.
That stuff comes back to bite you. Winning and losing, even though we're talking about the Titans, a 6 to 7 win is going to satisfy you. It's a very close margin most times on Sundays. And you never know. It's one of those situations where it's don't get the old school basketball. Don't get Jordan started. You know what I'm saying? If Jordan is just not having the day, don't say anything because you don't want to crank him up. And I feel like that fire sometimes can be a detriment to the team. And that's what I feel like Jeff was speaking of when it was be careful with your words or be more direct about what you mean.
Right, because he is such an open book, and he's so blunt.
With his mom.
Mom, I am in pain. I love it, man. He is so fun. He's entertaining, and in an era where players are so trained and guarded and sometimes canned with their answers. I love the authenticity. No doubt. And I love that Cam wants to stand up in front of his entire team and chew them out because things aren't up to his standard. That is what I think is going to make him a successful quarterback in this league, is that level of attention to detail and being, a little bit of a jerk sometimes. Again, I like all of these things, but I do think it is a conversation that is continuing as he matures from his vet, which is Jeffrey Simmons, who is Jeffrey Simmons, and himself.
And nobody's asking Cam to be docile and how he goes about this, but I think when you look at what he puts out of his mouth sometimes, his most famous sound bite is what? We ass. Right?
I'll tell you who he is and who he emulates is the guy whose poster was on his wall that we saw on Netflix. That's Kobe Bryant.
No doubt. But the part I think and it's smart that Cam is leaning on his veterans and coaches though too is seek out how to become that. Kobe grinded it. He created that mentality over years of quiet work. He has success behind that as well.
Yeah.
The more successful you get, the more people will believe you and what you're telling them and what you're asking of them too. And that's where it's smart that he's asking his coaches and players on the team, how do I achieve this? He mentioned, of course, Jeff did, Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes and how great they are. It comes over time, though. When they speak, you listen to what they say and you want to do what they do. And you got to figure that process out. And a lot of that, to be quite honest with you, Will, is leaning on your teammates and being okay with leaning on them.
Absolutely. Coming up, we'll go team-wide and kind of look from the 30,000-foot view. Biggest positive, biggest area where you want to see improvement through 1 week of Titans training camp. Ramon Foster, Will Bowling, Ramona Will, 104.5 The Zone. What's up, Will Bowling here from my friends at Lee Company. Hey, is your home's air conditioning keeping up this summer? Well, Lee Company has you covered. Lee Company's team of professional technicians will give your home's AC a tune-up as well as seasonal cleaning and maintenance to help you stay ahead of the heat and humidity outside. Don't let your AC fail this summer. Head on over to leecompany.com. Schedule your appointment today. If you're getting home from work and realizing that the temperature in your home is 4 or 5 degrees higher than it was when you left during a cool morning, maybe you're waking up overnight and realizing that AC unit still hasn't totally kicked in the way that it's supposed to, get Lee Company out there. They've got over 80 years of experience serving Middle Tennessee, and they can help you as well. Open 24/7, 365. Head online to leecompany.com, and don't let your AC fail this summer. That's leecompany.com. Lee Company, all you need. Wrapping up hour number 3 this morning on Ramon and Will. Brad Hopkins going to hang out with us coming up in a half hour. Your thoughts in the F&M Bank chat, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch as we approach 20,000 of you who have subscribed to the 1045 The Zone YouTube channel. You might even burn a calorie while you click the subscribe button.
Listen,
it's good for you.
It's such an easy thing to do.
It's great for you.
I don't even want to elaborate on how easy it is anymore. Like, at this point, if you don't do it, see us in public. How about that? That's not a threat.
Ramon literally said, catch me outside.
I just want to see him in public.
Yeah, that's right.
I just want to see him in public, Will. That's all I want to do.
When it makes sense for us to be there, that's for sure.
No doubt.
Biggest positive at Titans camp, biggest negative at Titans camp. Do you want to give people a bad news or good news first?
I'm trying to think of the bad news. Bad news side of it.
What's the biggest thing you want to see improved so far through 1 week of Titans training camp practices?
I would say consistency at offensive line for the 2s and 3s. Getting a good look for
cleaner
those
pockets.
Guys. Yeah, would be something of note that I think is necessary.
As expected, needing to see cleaner pockets is a big negative right now.
They're just going to be the topic of conversation.
Yeah, they are.
Because your most valuable assets are at risk in these preseason games.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think anybody want to live in a world in which a young guy or the second or third offensive line get Mitch Trubisky in a bad situation, or even Will Levis for that matter. Like,
because if they're getting Mitch Trubisky in a bad situation now, then what happens, not if, when an offensive lineman gets hurt, and are they putting Cam Ward in a bad situation?
And I can acknowledge this, though, too. Sometimes the game plays out better than practice, though. The adrenaline hits you a little bit different. Stadium's a little bit different as well, that feel of it. So I kind of want to see a big step up with that side of it. I feel. Yeah,
I think that's fair. I think that's a good place to start. I think just overall consistency from the quarterbacks day to day.
Yeah.
From all of them. The highs are high. The lows are still, unfortunately, pretty low for Cam Ward, for Mitchell Trubisky, who had 3 interceptions in one practice the other day, for Will Levis, who is still trying to uncork a 40-yard bomb over the top of the defense 2 or 3 too many times for me per practice. He is so focused on making big plays to get on film and to earn himself an opportunity to be one of 32 that sometimes it works against him.
Just too spotty, man. It is in that moment. So I'm with you with the quarterback consistency day in and day out. It has to play a part and that's the flow of practice too. If that's not the case. So I'm with you there.
Biggest positive so far, something you've liked the most from Titans training camp practices at this point?
I'm going to do what nobody expects me to do.
You're going to talk about a good defensive storyline?
Linebackers.
Wow, look at you. You're growing. That's growth.
Linebackers. I hated them when I played
Complimenting a defensive player in training camp. I'm proud of you.
I'm for the surprise of the linebacking core making plays and continually making plays. We're watching guys fit into this new system with Robert Saleh, right? And Coach Borgonzi as well.
Right, Dave Borgonzi.
Make plays, and I think that's been a huge asset to this team. We spoke about what Coach Saleh's done with former linebackers in the system and what it means. You need to be athletic. You need to have good awareness around the field. You need to be able to drop back in coverage, and you need to be a thumper. And these guys have kind of proven that. They got a 4-man race, 5-man race with Mahmoud Diabate as well been in this too, that are continually making plays, man. James Williams has been a nice surprise this training camp, with him essentially being a big safety linebacker, and it's kind of proven dividends. Almost all of these guys have made plays, even Cody Barton, right? They've all made plays up and down the field. So the second level of the defense been a surprise to me, or big asset.
I was just going to say, as a whole, I think the front 7 looks as advertised. It looks like the strength of this football team. And that includes linebackers, because for me right now, if you're looking at individuals who have made the biggest impact and who have made the most improvements, to me, James Williams is the most improved player through 1 week so far on defense. I think Elikai Manor is probably that on offense, but I am very interested to see how James Williams as a run defender can diagnose being in the right gaps, making tackles in the hole in the run game, and not giving up those big explosive runs that we've seen at times from some of the backups on offense in the run game. That's a big question, but so far, I think the improvement at linebacker and the way these linebackers are able to fly around is the thing I like the most about this football
I'll
team.
give you another defensive side of it, another defensive attribute, too. Seeing Amani Hooker look like he's getting back to where he's getting to. Not just him, but the safeties in general. I would throw Tony Adams in there, and I would also throw, of course, Kevin Winston Jr. for sure. Like, those guys have, I feel like, kind of set the tone on the back end of this defense. We knew the defensive line was going to be something, and we're kind of seeing that. But we figuring out if those two levels could play in this solid defense, I think they've kind of shown that in the first few days of camp.
I'm cautiously optimistic that they do have the personnel put together to look like a Robert Saleh defense right away. Yeah. And right away being his first year. Maybe not week 1, maybe not week 2.
Yeah.
Maybe it takes a little bit of time to grow into that in live game reps in the regular season. But in New York, Robert Saleh's defense was 32nd in the NFL in year 1.
Yeah.
And then, snap of a finger, the next season was top 5.
Yeah.
Can you start a little bit closer to middle of the NFL on your way to hopefully being a top 10 or top 5 defense? I'm not going to put those expectations on this defense.
That's high.
But I think if you can start to walk down that road towards really looking like a full 1s and 2s depth up and down the roster Robert Saleh defense, getting back to league average and continuing what we've seen so far in practice and taking it to Sundays on the football field would be a great start for doing that.
Here's the thing, though. The beautiful part about them not starting 32nd and being middle of the road as a defense, though, is this time around for Coach Saleh, he was able to pick out guys that he knew would fit this system.
Well, and he has a prime Jeffrey Simmons that he did not have the first time around when he was a head coach in year 1.
Exactly. Like, he had a young Quentin Williams, but not this.
He didn't have this version of Quentin Williams.
And that's Jeffrey Simmons, most definitely. But you're able to go get John Frank Lamar, Jake Martin. You look, of course, at just what they brought in as assistants for the linebacker side of this and also on the back end of this defense. It pays dividends. And not just that, but you end up getting 2 high draft picks in this cycle as well. So the buildup of stacking this defense the way he wants to is there. I feel like we knew this was going to be the case going into camp, that the defense is where you lean your hat at this year for the most part. But you're kind of seeing it grow in real time with how these guys are making plays. And, again, especially the second level of it. You mentioned Derrick, too. I mean, definitely a surprise.
So your player of camp so far, 1 on offense, 1 on defense. I'm going Derrick on offense.
I'm going James Williams on defense.
I think those are the 2 clear answers right now.
Yeah. And
in terms of players looking the best, looking most improved, it's Derrick Iman on offense, it's James Williams on defense. Now the next question becomes, what does that mean for this football team on Sundays in the regular season?
Here's the other part, too. You may bring up Derrick. I thought the other day that Chimray was also making those same plays.
You know what? And again, we talked about it a little bit of like, hey, have you been surprised to not see more plays from Chimray DK? And then here he is, 2 catches in the red zone on Tuesday's practice.
So who else?
Every time we say something or ask something, it happens.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's the opposite. Yeah. We're like, man, Mitchell Trubisky might be the best quarterback in camp so far.
Womp, womp.
3 picks the next day. God dang. Like, man, really proud of Jeffrey Simmons not taking the bait, not getting worked up, not getting a skirmish. Here he is. A ding, ding, ding. Round 1. Like, what are we talking about, man? Like, what can we say today that we want the opposite to happen? Man, like, these Cam Ward interceptions are out of control. You know, he's got to. What else can we talk about?
Opposite day at this point. We spoke about earlier his sideline throws. We need that.
Right. That's right.
Whoa.
Like, man, I need to see more touch. 15 yards down the field, 10 to 15 yards down the field for Cam Ward, and hopefully we'll see more touch today.
I want to see. You know what? Brandon Crenshaw-Dixon's been giving it up at tackle. Want to see him step up. Like, we could just start dropping stuff out there, right? And seeing the opposite of it. But that's also what camp is. There's a back and forth every single day, and at some point, you want to find that consistency. That's what this is. That's how you name your starter at right guard. That's how you see if Austin Sloatman solidifies his stance at center.
Austin Sloatman, who will be on the show tomorrow.
Easy work right there. That's beautiful right there. Man, I can't wait to talk to him. We can't wait to talk to him.
Absolutely.
He's also coached by one of my former coaches. Munchak.
That's right.
I gotta ask him. Most definitely. Does he still get the last shove anytime he's talking to you?
615-737-1045 is our number. Derrick Henry making headlines last night, but maybe the headline was a bit of a different story than the actual story itself of why he was making headlines. We'll explain what we mean by that coming up
I
next.
got a comment real quick, though. It says, say type Super Bowl. If we don't say we'll win it, then we'll win it.
Oh, perfect. Sounds good. Sounds good.
I might have put that in the chat.
Hour number 4 coming up next. Ramon and Will, 104.5 The Zone.
Good morning, live from the Circus Sports at the Mid-Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Justin Hawkins. Breaking NFL news this morning. The Colts and star running back Jonathan Taylor have agreed to terms on a big-time 2-year, $44 million contract extension per Ian Rappaport and Adam Schefter. $39 million is guaranteed, and it's the largest third contract for a running back in NFL history. Taylor has 626 carries for 3,026 rushing yards and 32 total touchdowns over the last 2 seasons for the Colts. The Titans in the Robert Saleh era officially begins a week from today when the Titans face the 49ers to open the preseason. Today, they're back on the practice field as training camp continues at Vanderbilt Health Football Center. Practice at 10:15 this morning. Then head coach Robert Saleh and select players will speak to the media following practice. Also, the return of All-Pro defensive tackle Aaron Donald to the NFL became more likely yesterday as he worked out for the Rams. Donald put on pads and went through various workouts to see how his body feels and would respond. And coming up tonight, the NFL returns with the Hall of Fame game in Canton, Ohio, as the Cardinals take on the Panthers to open the NFL preseason. Kickoff is at 7 p.m. on NBC, or you can hear Westwood One's call right here on The Zone starting at 7. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and the Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Away we go into the fourth and final hour this morning from the Vanderbilt Health Football Center. Great to have you with us. If you're streaming us on 104.5 The Zone TV, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch, or if you are listening to us on your FM radio dial, or if you are on the 104.5 The Zone app, we are glad that you have good taste and have decided to come to the right place. Brad Hopkins will come to this place in 15 minutes to talk with us. Ramon Foster and Will Bowling. Kirby Allen Kirby, present and accounted for. Robert Walsh, the Buck Rising Show crew, I'm sure on their way. Bert's still here, or is he on his birthday trip?
He's on his birthday trip.
Well, what the heck? No wonder he hasn't been up here to hang out with us and be our friends yet.
Yeah, he in North Carolina, boy. He
good
is
for
having
him.
an amazing trip set up too, by the way, man. He needs his little break. I feel like he always takes one this time of the year. Not that he's not supposed to at this point in time, but he always takes one at this time of the year, man, for his birthday. I'm appreciative of birthday celebrations the way he is as well. So I'm looking forward to hearing what his stories are.
On YouTube, real quick, some criticism for our last segment. We invited all, positive or negative feedback.
Always love it.
Commenter says, Ramon and Will, y'all just created a very false narrative for Saleh. Quinnen Williams was already a top D tackle in year 3 with 53 all and 6 sacks, he says. 53, maybe 53 tackles and 6 sacks. Yeah, I mean, but that was kind of our point, right? Like, in year 3 for Quinnen Williams, when Robert Saleh got there in year 1,
Saleh get there.
In 2021 was year 3 for Quinnen Williams. Like, Jeffrey Simmons doubled that last year.
Yeah, like
I know sacks aren't everything, but like Jeffrey Simmons on a 3-win team had 11 sacks last season. So that's you're kind of proving our point for us, right?
21, he didn't have a Pro Bowl. By the time he's getting Jeff already has a Pro Bowl and a couple of All-Pros. That's the point.
Right.
The maturity factor
Right.
also is different from Quinnen Williams and Jeffrey Simmons at this point in time as well. Like, Quinnen did turn up in that 22 season.
Yeah, in year
That's the
2
thing,
under Robert
year
Saleh,
two.
which was our point. That's what he had Jeffrey Simmons kind of numbers with 12 sacks. So
Yeah.
I don't think that's a false narrative at all. I think that's just the reality of what happened for Saleh in year 1.
I would say Saleh helped curate Quinnen Williams even more because of
Right.
the defense.
Right.
That year 1, you said it most definitely, Will. Like, that wasn't the year that it took off. That defensive rank for the Jets, you said it was. As far as points given up, they gave up, 29.6 points a game.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like
that's what I'm saying.
that's the difference in what you're getting yourself into.
It's not just Jeffrey Simmons. I mean, Robert Saleh also didn't inherit the corners that this defense has. And, like, the overall depth at edge. I mean, we looked back at the stats, and we can go do it again if we want to, on the 2021 New York Jets defense and some of the limitations they had defensively. The top edge rusher in terms of sacks for the 2021 New York Jets was Bryce Huff with 2.
Ooh.
That's not a false narrative. I think that's a team in 2021 that Robert Saleh inherited a much different looking defense than what he has inherited here in year one as the head coach of the Tennessee Titans.
And I think this as well. The team that he inherited with the Jets in 21 is just a different game plan that he had for this team in 2026. Again, you have the ability to go out and get some corners that you want in this defense. You go out and get a safety that knows this defense. You got also a stronger coordinator when it comes down to who you're hiring as your OC, your special teams coach, and your defensive help as far as who Saleh has on his team. It's just it's not apples to apples in this conversation and the way I look at it. And, of course, you're hopeful that you continue this pathway to Jeff's career that he's kind of had so far. But this year one, the point I think we're both making is you hope that it's a better platform that he's jumping off of than when he started with the Jets situation. And we understand watching what the Jets are going through right now as a team, what their ownership and just front office is kind of not allowed them to do.
Yeah.
And I feel like the Titans, Miss Amy, and also looking at Borgonzi are giving him more of a free range to say, you know what you're doing. We're going to back away and let you do this coaching thing.
Yesterday, Derrick Henry made headlines. And, Ramon, I'm filing this under a situation where a headline does not tell the full story of what was actually discussed, and something that in early August we really don't need to be very worked up about.
No.
This was Derrick Henry yesterday on Up and Adams with Kay Adams from Baltimore Ravens training camp.
I look out here and I'm seeing these beautiful trees and this like lodge atmosphere. It looks like a nice place to retire. Looks like a nice place when you are ready to end.
What other place would it be better to retire than a castle?
I just want to hear that this is where you like saw. You came and you saw this place and you go, this is where I see myself for the rest.
So this is when I'm done playing, I wanted to be done playing here. So when I hang it up, Baltimore will be last place I want to be.
You got to get a ring first. You got to accept a compliment first because the Canton's not going to the Canton's going to knock on this man's door and he's not going to answer. He's going to be like, nah, don't deserve it. I don't deserve it. Like we got to work on that. Those are reps you can do with me.
That's what I'm saying. I got to keep working. What you told me.
You're really like a terrible running back. Bottom tier. Just get to work. We'll be back. Thank you.
What?
First of all,
it's better the second time.
First of all, it is. I'm noticing more. It's like when you rewatch a show and notice more details. Kay Adams, what do you want Derrick Henry to say when the question is literally, here's what I want you to say. I want to hear this from you. I want to retire like if you're a Titans fan this morning and you saw the headline and you had any sort of anxiety or didn't like hearing that from Derrick, listen back to the question again, because Kay Adams literally says, here's what I want to hear from you. Of course Derrick Henry is going to answer with, yeah, you're probably right. Anyway, I got things to work on.
Kay played him, man. Like, she played him on that snippet right there.
I took it as I would like to end my playing career here. I don't have any plans of going anywhere else. Not I want to retire and be remembered as a Raven and anything Titans is dead to me. Like, no, stop.
No.
Let's stop jumping to conclusions. It's not June anymore. We don't have to make something out of nothing. This was nothing.
Yeah.
This was legitimately nothing, and I don't think anybody needs to lose any sleep over it.
But what's crazy is, I got a friend. They said, don't tell his wife he said this, so I'm not going to. A friend of ours in the chat said, Kay Adams might have me nervous laughing too. Like, I said this earlier, I don't know if I've seen Derrick Henry smile and laugh so hard in an interview ever before, man. She baited him into that answer. That question was real, just misleading almost in a sense too. So I appreciate how he handled it. It also sounds to me it might be a guy that's trying to get a couple extra millions before his time is up, considering what running backs are getting paid right now too. Of course he's supposed to say he want to end his career at the Castle. He cleaned it up on social media by saying he wants to be in that last spot.
He quote tweeted the video from the Up and Adams show saying, I would like to finish my playing career with Ravens. I never said anything about retiring. LOL. I'm enjoying being a Raven. I'll worry about that retirement bleep later.
Yeah. Daryl in the chat said he doesn't understand why he wouldn't come back to the Titans to get 506 rushing yards to be all-time leader. I get the conversation, but transactions have to happen. I think when you look at Derrick's departure here, it was for that reason though as well, is to go chase a ring. I actually thought towards the latter end of his contract here in Tennessee that Derrick was closer to retirement, but it just shows you also what losing does to you as well. Derrick was a part of a lot of winning here, right, for some years. But losing takes a toll on your body, man, when it comes down to trying to reset, always trying to rebuild and put yourself in the playoffs. And he felt like he had a better opportunity, I feel like, what was it, with Dallas or with the Ravens at that point in time. It was a career move for him, especially at that position at running back, too. I'm not mad at it. Derrick just got cornered, boy. Kay, she does that with a lot of guys on her sit-downs that she have with him. I'm not professing anything, but there's a way to ask questions, and that was one just kind of put him in a bubble on that one, Will.
Commenter on YouTube says, so happy he didn't fit Brian Callahan's offensive system, so we let our Hall of Famer play for the Ratbirds.
What are you supposed to do?
I mean, yeah, it would have been nice to have him, but to be fair, towards the end, his big games were no longer resulting in wins.
No.
And when you're consistently down because you've got to rebuild so much of the roster and you have to throw the football more than run it, Derrick Henry's doing what the rest of us is doing.
Yeah.
You know what that is? Watching the game, not playing in the game.
Absolutely.
So, the sentimental part of it hurts, but, we've got to move on from we'll remember Derrick's Titans career again when he does hang it up and does retire. Because, honestly, he would have been on the sideline just watching 3rd down and 8 and 3rd down and 12 a lot because he comes off the field on 3rd downs.
Exactly.
He's in the right place to continue his career.
I don't want to call it a nothing burger because this is an important thing that he said, though. But, do you view Byard the same way? Do you view Harold Landry the same way as well? Guys that have gone to other places, they are where their feet are. And I said this earlier, this league is so transparent when it comes down to players' transactions that you really have to look at yourself as a fan sometimes, just like he's speaking about where his love interest is. His love interest is in Baltimore. He's got to be where he's at. And there's been numerous guys that have come here. I use a guy like Nate Washington, former Steeler. Yeah. Now he's a Tennessee Titan. I watch his social media. He does it both ways.
You can have 2 loves.
He's got 2 loves. Some guys got 6 loves around this league.
And that's hard for us as fans, Ramon, who didn't play to wrap our heads around. And I totally get it why. I totally get why.
Fans don't they don't team hop. Right? That's the other side. Fans are loyal to where they are, and I respect the ones that hold that line in the sand for Derrick, or draw it in concrete. Mm-hmm. No, you'll never be one of us, and I fully get that. But that's not the reality of it when that team has helped him win. He almost had 2,000 yards again.
Yeah.
Right? Or he could have at some point in time. He's played in the playoffs recently.
Report out of Knoxville this morning says that Ty Redmond was absent during open portions of practice to the media today in Knoxville.
College got way more control, though, with that type of stuff.
Yes, they do. And if you miss the first 2 periods, you can come out for the rest of practice and just be in a non-contact jersey.
Yep.
And the story will be he wasn't out there because college football media gets to see 2 periods, and that's it.
And that's it.
Of basically guys playing catch.
Yeah. That's
stretching.
It. So that's all that it is, man, when it boils down to it. So
interesting.
Who's to say what it was? Yesterday was the first day.
It was.
If he survived practice yesterday and made it off, I expect him to be mostly healthy. Everything is a storyline in college, though, and I say that with all due respect because there's only so much access that you can get. Right. So that's just – you've said this all the time with coaches like Butch Jones or anybody else that's been with the Vols. They have an immense amount of control. Heck, Heupel does, for that matter. There are no injury reports given out for that very same reason up until recently, because they like to keep control of what content is getting in and out of their programs. Derek Dooley, same exact way, right? That's just a college coach thing, the way I look at that. If he's injured, I'm sure we'll know by the end of this weekend.
Yep, that's true.
We got Brent Hubbs tomorrow.
Yes, we do.
And there's one thing he can do. He going to find information.
Oh, absolutely.
I never deny Hubbs, boy.
Absolutely. Coming up, Brad Hopkins joins us before we all head to Santa Clara in 1 week for Titans and 49ers. He'll be on the sidelines with us on our first Titans radio broadcast of 2026. We'll talk to B-Hop about what he's seen in camp so far and what he wants to see from the team next week in San Francisco after this. Ramona Will rolls on from Titans training camp. A gorgeous day for pads to pop and for practice to happen again. A blue and white scrimmage going to happen tomorrow night. A football game that's going to be played in 7 days. He's Ramon Foster. I'm Will Bowling. Brad Hopkins stopping by. Titans Radio's Brad Hopkins. What's up, B-Hop? How we doing?
Gentlemen, and I use that loosely.
You're in midseason form, my friend. How are you?
I'm fantastic. We've been actually getting lucky with the weather. It hasn't been excruciating.
We absolutely have.
But like Cam talked about earlier, going down to Miami helps you get acclimated to the humidity, right?
Yes, it does.
But it hasn't been those type conditions here, so I think the guys are getting some good work in.
Yeah.
I agree. What has been your biggest positive, Brad Hopkins, through 1 week of Titans training camp that you feel like you've learned about this team?
Robert said he wants to play fast. He wants to be violent. This is a physical team, and that is the foundation of any good football team, and I'm starting to see some of that. Yeah. I mean, Ramon, you and I have been watching the trenches extensively.
Yeah.
And these guys aren't afraid to not only mix it up, but just really get after it. I think they're still learning how to practice, in the fashion that gets you better and not become a liability. But, in fact, I'm thinking that these guys, they're learning what Robert Saleh is trying to extract from them. Mm-hmm. You got to be in shape. Yep. You got to be disciplined. And you've got to be physical. Now, being smart is an element that also needs to be mixed in there as well. And as they're learning how to practice against one another and they're learning the culture that he's trying to establish, I think you're starting to see a more well-rounded team.
Hop, the question I have for you, you mentioned the coaches, man, and I think that sets a lot of that foundation. What does a leader coach, somebody that really has the heartbeat of the team, what does it mean for this type of team, man, for the Titans going into the season, as opposed to a little bit more of a loose guy, man? What does that mean, though? Because I feel like Saleh's kind of shown us, like, yeah, he's got the eyes of these guys.
Yeah, leadership to me is synonymous with direction. I've got a course that we're going to travel. This guy's coming up with a good plan. Mm-hmm. I believe it. Yep. I'm going to buy into it. Therefore, I don't have to be thinking about that. You know what I mean? Think about when you've been when you inherit a veteran team. Yeah. The culture's established. It's just up to you to learn it. You're not trying to come in there and change some things and you know what, I don't like this. I'm going to do it this way. No. The room sets the room. Yes, you're not coming in there to remake anything. So when you've got a coach that is a leader that has a plan, and one that the guys almost see as foul-proof. They're not gonna. There's no tweaking of it at all. You can just buy yourself into that program and just make yourself better. So I think that's one of the things that Big Jeff was asking about when they found out that Brian Callahan was released. Yep. He said, the next cat we want in here, we need to be a leader. Because at the end of the day, Jeff just needs to be able to rush the passer, stop running backs. He didn't need to be thinking about the politics and the course of the team in that direction. He didn't want to be a leader in that realm, trying to put all the things on his shoulders. You know what I mean? We need a dad in the building.
Yeah, we do. I call it sometime as a team, and you have to be this way when it boils. You got to kind of drink the Kool-Aid as a player. Like, whatever my coach tells me, I have to believe it is true. The game plan, the way we practice, the method in which we get from point A to point B, we talk about, just the identity of teams. That starts up top, man, and I feel like we've continually seen that, the way he handled Jeff. You saw that. You was up close on that one, man. That goes a long way into helping a guy understand, I kicked you out for this reason.
Yeah. Robert makes a hell of a great Kool-Aid. That's my favorite, by the way.
Guy.
You like red too?
I like the tropical punch, man. Either way, I'm going to drink yours.
Pickles with it too, don't you?
I've had it before.
Whoa.
Just hear me out now.
No,
you know how you buy the pre-made mix?
Yeah.
Get you some dill pickle spears, man. Dip it in there.
You put the mix on the pickle before you put it in the solution.
That's Southern, y'all.
It is.
That's
extremely.
It
just means more. Kool-Aid on pickles.
You're a grape guy, though, man. Stereotypically, we supposed to like red.
Yeah, I think grape may be more Midwestern. But to your point,
look at Will bow out of the Kool-Aid.
Chilling.
No. But that's true. The way that that situation was handled by Robert. Now, I will say this: Jeff Fisher would have sent Jeff in. Yeah. Jeff would have been not on the field because there's a point that he got to when we fought so much that he's like, hey, look, guys, there's going to be some repercussions for you, the fist flying. You're going to take it in. The fact that he was still able to be on the sideline, get a little conditioning in on his own, and still be visible for practice, I understand what he did there. but also the conversation that he had with him mid-practice about why he did what he did.
Absolutely.
That makes you respect him as a player. You know what I mean? Because I thought that Big Jeff was very receptive to whatever it was that Robert was saying to him about him being a leader. Because at the end of the day, we don't want to lose him to suspension or injury. So those kind of situations, they got to be tempered. We all understand exactly the kind of intensity and ferocity that Big Jeff plays with. But you've got to also be mindful of how valuable you actually are to this team.
We were talking about this, Brad, the other day. Brad Hopkins, Titans Radio, with us about the aftermath of a skirmish that. And I don't want to call it a fight, because a fight to me is everybody's throwing punches, we're brawling. Like, that does happen once in a blue moon at NFL practices. That wasn't a fight. That was one guy who threw a punch or two. It had his punishment for it, and we moved on. What is the rest of that day like then? For the offensive guys sitting next to the defensive guys, having lunch, in big team meetings, you're hearing probably rookie karaoke songs, you're doing all the funny stuff. Like, how quickly does a football team move on from something like that?
Those moments are not sustaining, because it takes a unique situation to where when your helmet gets knocked off, now all bets are off. I'm trying to put these things on you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That doesn't last long. No. First off, it's exhausting, Ramon. Getting in a fight is exhausting.
I got another play.
I got another series, man. I can't be out here boxing with you. I'm tired. At the end of the day, these guys understand what the goal is, because now you got to be thinking about practice. You got to get back into that mode. The emotion of a fight took you somewhere else, okay? That's not by design what they're trying to do. So that doesn't last very long. I just sat here and watched J.C. Latham, not just because obviously we haven't started practice, but the other day after all that happened, J.C. Latham was conversating with his people. Big Jeff was conversating with his people. Yep. They were 10 yards from each other. Yep. It wasn't like they just wanted all of a sudden just get after each other right there, because what happens on the football field genuinely stays on the football field. Now, I will say that competition sometimes spills over into how you pass each other in the hallway, but never to the point where you're going to start throwing fists and stuff like that, right? So I think that, first off, do you remember last year when Big Jeff brought the iPad up to JC and said, "Hey, look, bro, you got the fresh legs out here. Yeah. We need you to be better. You need to get going." You know, he wasn't saying that to get in his chest and start talking mess. He was saying that because he understands how valuable JC is, and vice versa. You think JC wants to take Big Jeff out of the lineup by doing something stupid? Absolutely not. That's our best defensive player. So at the end of the day, it only lasts for so long, and then they'll get back to even and it'll be cool.
What have you seen from J.C. Latham during camp so far?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked me that. I see a guy that's hungry. I mean, he wants to be out there. He understood the pitch count. He understood, I need you to be healthy for the duration of the season, not this training camp. I mean, it's important for you to get the reps and establish yourself. But whenever they pulled him out, he was healthy and ready to go. I mean, we were kind of like trying to figure it out. Why is he out? Why is he out? And when I talked to him at the practice, he's like, "Man, they told me I was going to get 3 plays or 5 plays." And so he wants to get in there not only for his guys, but to see him be better. This is a small example of who Big JC is. He had finger tape on. It came off. He dropped it on the ground accidentally. He picked it up and put it in his sock. He didn't want to litter on his football field. Beautiful. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Take what you exactly. Yep. Take from that what you will. But what I took from that is that he cares. It matters to him how people view him. It matters to him how people view this offense and this team in totality.
I would also, just on JC's side of it as well, we've talked about it a little bit, Hot, but you expressed it as well. Like, I feel the way he jumps in with these little skirmishes.
Came out of nowhere,
every team, he did come out. Every
it's like a chest bump, too.
Like I'm here, but
I'm here.
Looking at it though, Hop, every offensive line got to have 1 or 2 of those guys, and finding who's going to be that dude that also backs it up is super important for Cam, who likes to talk, who I'd much rather just be cool.
Yes.
But like those big boys is the biggest group in the room, biggest group in the building, biggest bodies in the building, got the most numbers. Brad, how important is it for JC to organically get to that point to where Cam doesn't have to bark and they set a tone through his personality of, look, you're going to either get with me or you need to get out?
Why are Chihuahuas always starting stuff?
You know what I'm saying? Be quiet. You don't have to block him.
Cam, just hush. Stop amping him up. You said that the other day, didn't you? You're like,
you remember we were in practice, it was last week. Cam's barking at Jeff, and what did Jeff do?
Go out there and try to wreck shop.
He did, man. Like, I'm I'm like, I love the fire. We both have agreed, right, Hop? Like, we both I love that Cam's barking. But you don't have to block him.
Do you remember at the end of practice, Cam was when Robert brought everybody up?
Yeah.
Cam was saying something, and it almost started a little mini skirmish. Like, shut up already. But listen, those guys need to know that they have each other's back.
They do.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if I'm going to get into it with a guy in an opposing jersey, I need to know that there's 10 other dudes standing behind me and maybe another 50 or so on the sideline.
Ready.
They're ready. Just ready. I don't want a big gang fight. Nope. You know, this isn't the Outsiders. But I'm just saying, at the end of the day,
stay golden, Pony Boy.
Exactly. I need to know that if I get sucker punched, there's somebody else coming to take get my back.
Later.
And that's what JC did.
Yep.
How about Big 5'1" getting into it with Jeff? Slotty. I mean, come on now.
He's on the show tomorrow.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
So first off, I like the way he's playing. You know what I mean?
Consistent.
There were some question marks in the interior. This guy's got good hands, He's got great leverage. I mean, he's already a little shorter dude anyway. But the fact that he plays with power and is not afraid to mix it up with Big Jeff, you know, but then that's what, to your point, that's what we're talking about when JC comes to the defense of his line.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Hop, legitimate, I told Will, and we used to express this on this show, that fight will be over and done when you get to the building, right? When you get the tape. What Coach going to do is rewind that tape and see which one of them offensive linemen showed up.
Hey, where were you at? When I was out here scrimming, where were you at?
Where were you at?
Is that hilarious. You over there by the Gatorade thing?
$50.
Like, of course you were getting water. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course you were getting a drink. Everybody else is fighting.
$50.
While your teammates needed you.
What'd you say, Ramon?
Yeah.
Put your name on the board.
Put your name on the board.
Put your name on the board right there.
Fighting.
For not fighting.
That's
I
incredible.
ain't telling you to throw it. Just show up.
Just be present.
Don't throw punches.
Just be present.
Like, hey, if you went out there, you could draw a penalty on the other team.
Exactly.
The right guard composition, B-Hop, I think is so interesting. But I think there's a larger discussion here about how quickly the Titans, in a perfect world, would like to find their first five. Because there's a balance here between trying things, getting different combinations of players on the field that work or maybe don't work, but then also allowing those players time to build chemistry. For you, when is the ideal moment in the build-up to Week 1 against the New York Jets where you would like this team to know what their best five offensive line looks like?
We're getting on a plane Monday, right, fellas?
Yep.
We're going out to
Well, you
San
guys
Fran.
are. We'll meet you there Wednesday.
Yes.
Yeah. And then we're coming back together.
But you the point being made that you're going up playing against an uncommon opponent.
Yeah.
Right.
They're a little depleted. San Fran's not going to be playing a lot of their number ones against us in practice just because of injury. I don't know what the hell is going on in the water out in San Francisco. But
substation,
something. But the point being, you want to have some separation as far as who is going to be that guy. You want to understand more of who you actually are as a team once those joint practices are complete. Now, we've got one against the Bears, right, and the Seahawks. So when it's all said and done, you get more work, and you speak to this, Ramon. Yeah. It's almost harder in a joint practice than it is in a preseason game because all eyes are on you.
Especially for starters, too, right?
Exactly.
Right.
Because as a starter, you know you're going up against backup, you know, like ones against twos, that kind of thing. Every now and then you go one-on-one, you know, that still ramps up the intensity. But every single rep is one-on-one when you're talking about a joint practice because you got their best against your best, and they're not afraid to embarrass you.
Yeah, yes. Will asked me, so I ask you as well, man. What's been one of the most impressive units, offensively and defensively, that you've seen so far in training camp?
Let's go offensively first.
Yeah.
And they need to be to make Cam as dangerous as possible. We've seen some explosive plays from 14 in OTAs and mini camps, but 5 looks fine, man.
Like Iamander's story at camp so far.
He looks fine. Yeah. So it's going to be hard after the first 3, Calvin Ridley, Wan'Dale Robinson, of course, Carnell, to see exactly who's going to separate themselves. But it's not that hard when you're talking about 5. Chim DK, I'd like to see a little more, make a little bit more noise.
He came up a little bit on Tuesday. Sure did.
Yeah. But I like it. Just seems like Alec is almost a more well-rounded receiver. When he asks the coordinators to put run plays in so he can put hands on DBs, hey, coach, let's get this one out here. You know, let's get Tony Pollard involved so that way I can kind of get my hands on Alante. That kind of stuff. You know what I mean? He didn't say that. I'm just saying this. I'm putting words in his mouth. But that's one that has stood out to me. And of course, pressure makes diamonds. We don't want any diamonds made offensively, but when we're able to put pressure on an offense. Those big bodies up front. Maine is going to be a beast. He will not be happy until he gets double-digit sacks. And I think that, you know, his rapport, having come from a defense that had Quinnen Williams and some other interior monsters, he understands how to take advantage of the pressure or the attention that Big Jeff's going to get. But I like the way that he's shown up in camp. I like the way that John Franklin Myers has shown up in camp. And when you have a nasty defense, because think about it, what has won the last 2 Super Bowls?
Defense.
Great defense. The Eagles had a nasty defense.
And run game, too, between Kenneth Walker and Saquon Barkley.
100%. 100%. The dark side won it last year, even though Sam Darnold had a tremendous year.
He did.
So that's what we need to have as a foundation. People got to be thinking, when you say Tennessee Titans, you should automatically think defense, like, oh my God, these cats are nasty. Because what do we talk about here for the team that's projected to win the most? You got Aaron Donald now wearing Rams jerseys in practice because it's showing you that he's about to come out. So you're going to have 2 defensive MVPs on the same roster, blah, blah, blah. So it starts with them, right?
Yeah.
And then the icing on the cake is what you're able to do as far as putting up points.
I like it.
I think we both got a draft crush a little bit hot. Brandon Crenshaw Dixon.
Hey.
He going to have his struggles because he don't know much. Right? Like, it's going to be those moments. But how have you felt about his competitiveness so far with the first couple of days in pads?
He's a sponge. He's listening.
Agree.
He's taking advantage of a guy that was a college free agent that came to this team.
Yep.
He's sticking around. That means something. I don't want to say he needs to put more weight on, but you and I are talking about the calves.
Yeah.
He's long.
He is very tall,
really
guy.
long.
But I like his hand placement.
Yep.
I like the way he finishes. He's got good leverage.
Yep.
Yes, he's more of an athlete than you would think.
He's a player where it feels like preseason games are critical.
100%.
First half right tackle, second half left tackle. He don't come out.
Is he a 3 or a 4 though? Is he OT3 or is he OT4?
It's a good question.
You know,
Who's 3 then if he ain't 3?
Austin Deculus.
I'm looking at Ramon.
I'm taking BCD.
We
We had a back and forth the other day on that one. I feel like
I think the swing tackle might be on somebody else's roster right now as a waiver claim that could come here.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Potentially.
That's a good point.
We'll see.
I believe too much.
I made that prediction at the beginning of camp. And I love that about you, though. I mean, again, I'm probably too cynical. Yeah, I'm probably the problem. It's me.
I see the cake before it go in the oven. I'm like, yep, I know what the end product going to be.
You mentioned earlier, to wrap up here, that you guys are headed out Monday. We'll meet you there after we get everything put together on our end for Titans Radio and Titans Countdown and everything. How excited are you to hit the road with us on Titans Radio?
You know what? It's all about being on a team. And this is probably one of the best teams I've been on since 2005 when I left this facility. I'm excited to be a part of what you guys have been building here over the past couple of seasons. We're going to do our best to replace Mac.
No doubt.
And put together the type of product that it's intoxicating. You know, you can't get enough of it. And there couldn't be a better unit that I could have inherited between you and Ramon and Taylor Zarzer and Rhett Bryant and the guys that are actually going to celebrate the closing of Nissan Stadium that are going to be doing sideline reporting for us as well. You know, almost representing the generations of teams that have played there over the last 30 years. So it's exciting times for me.
I love it.
We're
excited.
We'll see how this. We got plans on how we're going to incorporate the conversation about the end game hop that I'm super excited for.
It's going to be really fun.
Yeah.
It is.
It's going to be really fun. I think Titans fans are going to like what we have prepared for them this year. I hope you guys do, and hope you guys know and can hear when we call Titans games, and preseason included, just how much fun we're all having working together. Because I'm having a blast watching practice with you guys and preparing for the season, and that preparation's going to ramp up because today we are in a game week.
Yeah, we are.
7 days away. Let's do it.
Dry run tomorrow, too.
Yes, sir. Blue and white scrimmage. Come out and hang out at Nissan Stadium. Good stuff. Good to see you, B-Hop. We'll see you down there in a little bit.
See you on the grass.
Good stuff. All right. Final call for phone calls, 615-737-1045 as we wrap up the show next. Wrapping up the show on Ramon and Will. Buck Reisig show on deck. Titans practice getting started here in just about 25 minutes. Let's go to Andy in Clarksville. Wants to ask an offensive line question to Ramon. Go ahead, Andy.
What's up, Andy? Good morning.
So as a young man growing up in the late 80s, early 90s, I played every sport that my little tiny school had available: baseball, basketball, soccer. But we didn't have football, and so I didn't get to learn a lot of the intricacies that I learned from Ramon now as a 50-something guy. So with Salah's defense, they switch out the big guys on the defense to keep them fresh. Why doesn't that work for the offensive line?
That's
good question, Andy.
Great question. The one that I honestly get ticked about, because there's just two different methods of play that you have to deal with. Offensive line, you can kind of pace yourself and you jog after the play, but you don't sprint after every play. Defensive line is intricate because you, one, have to be very explosive getting off the line of scrimmage, having to go through 300-pound players, but not only that, you have to also chase after the ball. Defensive mentality is everybody to the ball. Offensive line doesn't necessarily do that per se. You play more snaps, longer in the games, more plays, but you don't give out the same amount of energy per play that defensive line does. Defensive line, when you go no huddle, you can wear them down by keeping them on the field, because every single play, if they don't run to the ball, they find gaps in the defense where a guy can just go score big, as opposed to them stopping them within 5 to 7 yards. Different exertion of energy is what it is.
Sprinting to the ball makes a big difference.
It does.
Yeah.
But DBs play a different role. It's not every play that they have to do something. That's why you'll see, I think, wide receivers come out of the game before DBs do, because they might run a non-route all the way down the field, a streak down the field, and they need a break. Defense doesn't necessarily have to do that every single time. You predict how you recover.
Same can be said, too, for a wide receiver on the backside of a play to a run left. If you're on the right, you're just standing there. Like Josh Heupel's offense, you're really just standing there because you're not even bluffing like there's any kind of routes on the backside. And then those players don't rotate out very much because, again, they have a lot of plays where they're literally asked to just stand there and watch the play.
Yep, and then defensive line players, I give them that credit. You do have to be more twitchy. Like, offensive linemen are twitchy and very athletic, but it's just a different exertion of energy.
I think that's fair, considering you've played both, at least at the high school level. And you've also simulated defensive linemen in NFL and college practices as a scout team guy.
It's just a different exertion. Plus, with the offensive line, too, you want to keep that group together because that camaraderie does matter just a smidge more, as opposed to you just interchanging guys out. You can be wrong on defense and still be right.
Stoney Keeley on YouTube says, we got to design a system that rotates offensive line. Revolutionize the sport.
I like your thought, but I like my same.
I think Stoney's halfway joking, but yes.
In practice, I say we need to do that.
Let me introduce you to Dave Clawson. Unfortunately, he did not have a very good history at the University of Tennessee. But that wasn't rotating guys in and out. That was rotating the tackles. Like the left tackle would switch to right tackle and vice versa, which, Vanderbilt had some success doing last year with their quick tackle and their I forget what the other tackle is called.
Strong.
Yeah, quick tackle and strong tackle. Tony follows up and says, brother, I want to design an offense that runs entirely on offensive linemen. See, this is why I love Stoney so much. I absolutely love it. Yeah. Absolutely love it.
I did see on that, who is it, that MAC school, which one was it, Toledo, that's offering up their services for the first game of the season?
Yeah.
Mike Golick Jr. said he makes sure that every offensive lineman get an offensive touch. And not just snapping the ball. They're going to run the ball.
Somebody posted one of those viral videos of Nick Saban chewing out his Alabama team and said, and Coach when the team false starts on the first play after we designed them this script. Like, run the route again. It's cut. You got nobody in the flat.
Did you see the one where the Villanova coach is walking up to the head coach, like, after you run a successful series, looking at him like, I can do your job. When he headbutted the ref?
No, it's the Ron Swanson walking in the hardware store in Parks and Rec. Hello, can I help you today? I know more than you. Me to Joe Moorhead when my script gets him an instant touchdown on play number 3 of the opening drive against Robert Morris.
You'd be surprised how many folks think it's that easy, man.
I know. It is. I did it on the video game, though. What do you mean?
Do it with real bodies.
I know.
I did it with flag football.
I'm kidding.
And I was still nervous as heck. I know you are, but I was still nervous as heck.
Last night, Nashville SC falls 1-0 to Club Leon from Liga MX in Leagues Cup. It was the youngest starting lineup in Nashville SC history. played last night. Average age of 24.3 years old.
Wow.
Last night. Liked the cameo from Elias Saad, new left winger, who's played for Tunisia in the World Cup. One counterattack moment for a Leon team that really wasn't threatening at all in the second half. All that was in this game. Nashville now has an uphill battle to advance in Leagues Cup now, with Atletico de San Luis coming to Geodis Park on Sunday, and then a massive challenge in Monterrey Wednesday. I think the focus, just from seeing that lineup last night and putting the dots together, Ramon, was going to be really focused on Inter Miami coming to town a week from Saturday.
Yeah.
So this may end up being a blessing in disguise to where you are able to rotate bodies again next Wednesday and put all the chips in on the MLS Supporter Shield and on Lionel Messi and Miami, who come to town next Saturday. But good to get some game time for some new players and some young players, but ultimately NSC falls short last night. Nothing to be concerned about.
Yeah, okay then. Well, should we go to the Messi game then, is what you're telling us?
Let's do it.
There, be loud, be rambunctious?
We can do. We can watch a football game in Santa Clara together Thursday, and then we can watch a soccer game together on Saturday in Nashville.
I don't know if you're going to get much out of me on
Tip
Saturday.
me with a good time. Well, no, me neither. Me neither. Back at it tomorrow morning. Austin Schlotman, Brent Hubbs, and Ron Slay on the show tomorrow. Talk to you bright and early, 6 o'clock.
Remember, your Twitter fingers and your mic is always hot, baby.